It's game 2 of this split doubleheader. The Red Sox have played 2 of them in 2018 and are looking for the same result in each, a sweep of the Orioles. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Fenway. Great to have you with us. I'm Dave O'Brien, brand new partner here for Game 2. That's Steve Lyons. Garen Austin along as well for the nightcap. Well, game number 1, all Red Sox, 19-3, a season high 22 hits. But among the feats the Red Sox accomplished were several individual and team records were broken or tied.
Yeah, when you're having a great year and you get to this point in the season, you start to see the career best start to rear their beautiful heads. And first of all was Mookie Betts. I mean, goodness, finally he gets that 30th stolen base. I don't think the stolen bases meant all that much to him. He didn't run as much as he could have. He's in 30-30 guy now. The only other guy to do that was Ellsbury. That's an amazing feat, the speed and power. And then J.D. Martinez with his 42nd home run, now tied for the most ever for a Red Sox player in his first year in a Red Sox uniform, tied with Dick Stewart. And look at the other things that happened here. Xander with 100 RBIs. We talked about J.D. We talked about Mookie Betts. You know, also Rafael Devers, 6 RBIs. That's a career best for him. And also Benny with his 40th double of the season. Some amazing numbers that these guys are throwing up.
They've done it a lot, obviously, against the Orioles this season, but the Red Sox have feasted against most of the American League. It has been an amazing offensive season for the Boston Red Sox. And going after the sweep once again, they did it back in August against this Oriole team, taking 2 at Camden Yards, trying to do it again tonight here at Fenway Park. The bats have been booming. Join us for the nightcap. Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Amica Insurance, auto, home, and life insurance that always puts you first. KM, Together We Grill. The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent featuring all-wheel drive. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Red Sox look for the doubleheader sweep of the Orioles. Time now for our Xfinity X1 report as we go to Garen Austin.
Thanks, Obie. Well, it was a historic win here on Monday night, and after the win, Dustin Pedroia addressed the team. He's a veteran player, the leader on this team, and he talked to us about what he's learned.
I think one thing that I've learned since I haven't, really played this year is I never really enjoyed, anything. You're always focusing on, everything. So, I try to tell the guys, it's good to kind of sit down and enjoy the moment, things like that. So, it's pretty special what this team has done. It's the best regular season in the history of this organization. So, they should understand that and be proud of that.
You played with a lot of these guys for a long time, especially some of them when they were very young. How proud are you of what they've been able to accomplish this year?
Yeah, they've been great, all of them. I think the last couple of years they've learned how to win together, and that's the fun part. When they first came up, the first couple of years, it kind of took, I think we finished last, 14 and 15, but they learned from that and learned how to win together, now you see the direction it's heading, the way they compete together and do a lot of things. It's pretty cool.
And how do you view your role, and where are you at physically, and when we see you back?
I'm feeling better. It's been a long road, a lot of work, but I'll be back for next year and be 100%, and make sure that I'm out there helping on the field.
And the team really came together to win this afternoon. It was an offensive explosion, and hopefully we'll see more of that in Game 2. OB?
Karen, thank you. On Monday, this Red Sox team made history by winning their 106th game of the season, adding to it earlier today with win number 107, putting an exclamation point on this historic year. Here are some of the congratulatory messages from our sponsors. Brought to you by Franklin Sports, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball and the Red Sox. Digital Federal Credit Union, what can DCU save you? Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger program. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Nightfall here at Fenway. Red Sox have one win in the books today. They're 107th against just 51 defeats. They ran roughshod over the Orioles once again. It's the second time this season the Red Sox have scored 19 runs each time against Baltimore, but today a season high with 22 hits, and up and down the lineup guys were just pounding away.
I heard you guys talking about it in Game 1 there, and Eckersley said, I don't know that I've ever seen a game with so many balls thrown right down the middle that got hit hard in a game.
Rafael Devers probably the brightest star on the day. There were many, but Devers with not one but 2 home runs.
Now Ravi is an excellent breaking ball hitter. He got a breaking ball right there, a slider out over the plate. Then he hit this one. This one is hit an absolute country mile up over the exit portal, about 10 rows behind that thing. That is a blast right there. And 6 RBIs on the day, and him coming back off of injury and starting to make some noise as a guy that needs to be in that starting lineup.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. We talked about that also in Game 1, that Red Sox have an opening there with Nunez and the knee and a hamstring, and then you've got Brock Holt maybe having to play second base, perhaps even some first base. That depends, because both Kinsler and Moreland had very good days today. We shall see, but there may be an opportunity there for Devers to slide in there at third base for Game 1.
And when you look at the way Devers and Holt have been playing, it's hard to keep them out of the lineup. So you're right, there are possible opportunities there.
May have to think about matchups, though. Say if it's the Yankees and it's Jay Happ in Game 1, that could change the way the Red Sox think them. So a lot still to go over at this point. Ready for game number 2. Chris Sale on the hill at 12-4, an ERA of 2, and time for a look at the Oriole lineup that he will face tonight. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Cedric Mullins in center field to lead things off. Jonathan VR is at shortstop. Trey Mancini homered for the 24th time. He hit one in game 1. Adam Jones the DH. Nunez at third base. Joey Rickert in left field. John Andreoli is in right field with Steve Wilkerson manning second, and Caleb Joseph is the catcher. And they bat him ninth against Sale. He's 5-0 with a 1.66 ERA against Baltimore while pitching for the Red Sox.
Let's check in on the Red Sox defense, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Statistically the third best defense in the American League, with Holt at third base, Zue Lin at short, Phillips over at second base, and Steve Pearce playing first in the nightcap. In your outfield, Sam Travis in left field, Bradley Jr. in center, and Blake Swihart making an appearance in right field. Behind the plate, Christian Vasquez is going to catch Chris Sale tonight.
The umpires are brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Mike Muchlinski has the plate. Mike Winters, the crew chief, at first base. Tim Timmons and Sean Barber at second and third. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit compara2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV. And your weather forecast for tonight. Cloudy skies, 76 degrees. Rain much later from what we're told. Mullins flirting with a bunt, and he will take ball one, and we're underway. Cedric Mullins, 255 with 4 home runs.
We'll look for a couple things with Sale tonight: velocity and command.
And he bunts a foul. Now Chris Sale to go 6 innings, 100 pitches. Ideally.
Too early, Poppy. Too early. All right.
Christian Vasquez talking about a little too early to be getting hit by foul balls. Game just started. He and Mike Muchlinski, and of course those guys share that pain back there. Here's the 1-1.
Didn't hurt me at all. You?
Feel fine.
Yeah.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Hey, I put in my time down there, man.
You did. You took your knocks. Not necessarily behind the plate, but
a little bit.
And a 1-2.
That hit him?
It did. And Mullins is on by the slider.
Every once in a while, when Sale's slider gets a little bit out of whack, he'll yank it a little bit. He'll go down on that back leg. That's where he's trying to throw it, but you're not supposed to hit the back leg. He did that time, right on the back foot. Base runner early.
He hasn't thrown a fastball yet.
A couple change-ups.
Brings up VR, 266, 8 home runs. They're giving him a long look here in the final month. With Mullins the base runner. He has seen Chris Sale 9 times, and Sale has struck him out on 7 occasions.
Maybe he wished he wasn't getting as long a look tonight.
And like you said, you know, you get beat up on 19-3 in game 1, and oh great, we get Chris Sale in game 2. That disappeared. Good changeup. 1-1.
Sale really looks like he's coming out of the gate kind of just experimenting. A lot of changeups so far, a couple sliders, 1 fastball up out of the zone.
Leadoff man on. And a 1-1. And him chasing.
Chris Sale, the finesse pitcher. Lots of changes, hits his spots, throws slop up there.
But the last time he took this team on, August 12th at Camden Yards, he punched out 12. And his stuff was dazzling. Our key matchup presented by Sullivan Tire Complete Auto Service. We're always here to get you there. He's made 3 starts against Baltimore this year, 2-0, 1.13 ERA. With 29 strikeouts, only 6 walks.
Since he's been in a Red Sox uniform, he's 5-0 against Baltimore. They can't beat him.
Mancini on deck. Sale looking for their first K. And he'll get it there. 92 miles an hour. Foul tip to the mitt.
Well, we talk about it so much, just climbing the zone. You look at the Amica pitch zone right there. That's up and out of the strike zone. But when you throw as hard as he does and you get him with 2 strikes, you've got to try to stay alive on that pitch, and you just can't get it.
Amica Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, and life insurance. That was 92. Mancini 242 with 24 home runs.
You know, Dave, over the last 3 years, the game has certainly changed. It's all about launch angle now. Guys want to jump the yard. They don't care about strikeouts so much. They're trying to lift everything. But I'm not sure why that correlates to every hitter swinging at balls that are up and out of the zone. You don't have to swing at it. I've seen that more than anything over the last 2 seasons.
And what if you're not capable as a hitter of doing anything with that pitch anyway?
Most aren't. That's why they go up there, and it does look good as a hitter. When you see it at your eye angle, you're like, oh man, I'm going to get all over this one. But it's hard to get on top of. And when guys are trying to launch, they are already uppercutting, so it's even more difficult to get on top of that pitch. It's just been surprising to me to see sort of lack of discipline on the hitter's part, that they'll keep swinging at it no matter how high the guy goes. It's not a strike. You don't have to swing.
And yet I think the pitcher's willingness to do that and need to do that comes from all of the home runs. There's a shot down the line, sailing toward the pesky pole. Long run, but it's off that side fence. Swihart has to chase it. Here comes Mullins rounding third. He's going to score. Mancini trots into third base with a triple. And Baltimore has a 1-0 lead here in the first inning off Chris Sale.
This is an awfully difficult play to make as a right fielder, and Blake Swihart hasn't been out there all that much. He knows it's either going to be out of the park or down up against that wall, so his route should have been more towards dead right field, because if that hits, it's definitely going to go past you. Run further out into right field so that you can cut off that ball after it bounces. He was sure he didn't have a chance to catch it, and it was either going to hit that wall or be a home run.
Brings up Adam Jones at 278 with 15 home runs, 3rd triple of the year for Mancini. Infield in close. He's 6 for 27 lifetime against Sale with 1 home run, but he's also struck out 12 times. Okay. 0-2 on Jones. Renato Nunez next. 1 run in. He hit the first man, Mullins, on the foot. Now the triple by Mancini. Oh. And he has hit another man. Jones struck by the pitch. This has been one choppy start by Chris Sale.
Here comes Dana Levangie to talk it over too. And we watched Sale in his last start. We were hoping to get a little deeper into the game. He threw 73 pitches, only went 3 1/3. That was not a great sign. And tonight, hit Jones on the front foot this time.
Now 15 pitches, only 9 strikes. That's pretty low for Chris Sale. And nothing yet above what, 92?
Yep. Velocity is not there right now. He may settle into this game, get stronger, throw harder. I haven't seen him throw many fastballs.
First and third, one away.
Mike, what do you got?
He did not go.
Oh, the pitch looked good.
Mancini at third, Jones at first.
Looked like what he was trying to do early in this one is throw a breaking ball, get a ground ball, get out of this with a double play ball. Now going hard in.
One ball, one strike, 2 on and 1 out. And that's a drive out to left, backing up Travis, and he'll make that catch, tagging up Mancini. He's in to score. 2-0 Baltimore. Nunez will pick up his 20th RBI of the season. So a quick start here for the Orioles against Chris Sale. His last 10 starts before tonight, Chris had allowed a total of 3 runs. That's in 51 1/3 innings. 2 here right away.
Hadn't allowed a run here in 25 straight innings at Fenway Park. That changes.
Come out.
Rickard 251 with 8 homers.
So far in his 19 pitches, he's thrown 9 fastballs. And the average velocity on those fastballs is 90 miles an hour.
Rickard 2 out of 14 lifetime against Chris.
It's about right. Almost everyone that walks up there's got kind of the same numbers.
Not many get a good look at him when all is well. Here's the 1-1. It drifted away.
You know, the guys that play against Chris Sale, and when you throw those numbers out and they say you're only 2 for 14 against him, and your first comment is, what's wrong with that? It's pretty good against him.
Right, got 2 hits off.
Yeah.
Three balls and 1 strike. I'll tell you what, there aren't many fastballs here.
Does that concern you?
Well, he's hit 2 batters and now he's 3-1 on Joey Rickard here. And he popped up into short right. Phillips out. And Jackie Bradley wants it. He'll take it. That was an unusual inning, to put it mildly, for Chris Sale. Baltimore on top, 2-0. Jacobonis. Jacobonis. Baltimore in front 2-0 after a half inning. Here's the Sox lineup tonight, brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Jackie Bradley did not play in game 1. Starting in the outfield in game 2, Brock Holtz at third, Steve Pearce at first, Rafael Devers the designated hitter. Now at 21 homers, Swihart's in right, Brandon Phillips at second base, Christian Vasquez doing the catching, Sam Travis the left fielder, Zue Lin at short. Jimmy Yacobonis, the right-hander, will be the opponent. 0-2, a 6.34 ERA. Sox have seen him before this season. In fact, that was in game 1 of the last Red Sox-Orioles doubleheader in August. Red Sox handing Yacobonis his first major league loss. 5-0.
They really jumped all over his fastball, but he likes to throw it. He's got a good breaking ball to go along with it.
Well, in that game, he went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. He allowed 2 home runs. It's sharply but foul by Jackie Bradley. 232, 13 home runs. And leading off here in game 2. Sox have belted 15 home runs in their last, what, 10 games? Hit 5 in game 1.
Good to see the power back. Kind of went through a little power drought there for a number of weeks here towards the end of the season.
15 home runs in the last 6 games. Sorry.
That's a lot.
And 5 in the first game. Rafael Devers had 2 of them. 4 for 5. He drove in 6 runs.
10 between those two guys sitting there.
Brock Holt on deck. Also in game 1, Mookie Betts became the second player in Red Sox history to hit 30 home runs and steal 30 bases in the same year. Jacoby Ellsbury, the first man to do it in 2011. Two on the way. JD Martinez in game 1 hit his 42nd home run to tie the Sox record for home runs in the first year with the club. And Xander Bogaerts reached 100 RBIs with a personal best 22 home runs. And the Red Sox piled up 19 runs on 22 hits. 8 different Red Sox had 2 or more hits. Offense is fun, Steve.
They certainly can be. They were relentless today.
And that one roped into right, base hit. Jackie Bradley on quickly.
And it continues. What a great at bat by Jackie Bradley Jr. Let's check into the Orioles defense, the 3rd worst in the American League with 102 errors around the infield. It's Nunez, Villar, Steve Wilkerson at second base. Trey Mancini plays first. In the outfield, Joey Ricard, Cedric Mullins in center field, John Andrioli in right field. And your battery for today, Caleb Joseph is catching Jimmy Yacobonis.
Brock Holt's been cooking with the bat, hitting .274 with 6 home runs. He's at 3rd here in the 2nd game of the Twin Bill. Had a game-winning double on Monday. And has an 8-game hitting streak coming into play tonight.
That's why you and I talked earlier. I mean, when you see the way he has played lately, he's forcing his way into the lineup. He's forcing his way into all the conversations about where he could possibly play and where he fits in the playoffs. I mean, he's hitting .444 over his last 11 games. and he's a pest.
This player resume presented by Indeed.com. Brock during the 8-game hitting streak, hitting .455. 2 homers. He's driven in 6. Really, the only hotter hitter in the lineup at the moment is Mookie Betts. And that'll miss in, and the count 2-1. Pierce on deck.
Brock Holt has been at times a little more aggressive on hitting early in counts, but he's an old school work the count kind of a guy, and I love it. You know, he sees a lot of pitches, he fouls off pitches, waits for the one he really wants to hammer.
And Yacobonis with a 2-1. Not to be made. Back in JBJ. Yacobonis, 26 years old. This is his first appearance at Fenway Park. It's always fascinating to see how that goes.
Knees shaking.
Toward the hole, through for a base hit. Bradley rounding quickly into third base. He will slide in safely on a base hit by the red-hot Brock Holt. 9-game hitting streak for Brock.
Well, this is a tough play for a base runner to read, because when this ball's hit, Jackie Bradley Jr. doesn't know if it's going to be a double play ball or a base hit. So he can't round off his turn around second base. He has to go straight to it. Now he has to make a quick adjustment and make a great turn at second so that it enables him to go to third base, so he can make that decision to go to third, and he does it perfectly.
Brock Holt now 11 for his last 22.
Not too shabby.
Steve Pearce at 286 with 10 home runs. He also has been swinging a good bat. 10 for his last 33.
Look out.
One. Did it hit him? It almost did. He's able to get out of the way.
How did it miss him? It looked like it was going behind him at first when the ball got let go. How does this ball miss him? Oh, it got his shirt.
It sure did.
It hit him.
That hit him.
He wants to hit.
He didn't feel it, but I heard it, and so did you.
It was like the ball went through him. Oh, and he just ropes a double here. He'll come back and say, "Told you so. I just wanted to hit."
Two one.
That was a pretty nasty slider right there. That thing really had some nasty break on it. Pierce stayed with it, fouled it off.
It is a reviewable play. When you get hit like that,
if you're the guy that gets hit and you don't say anything about it,
didn't even react.
Yeah.
Like I want to swing the bat.
Mosquito landed on me.
2-2. Popped him up.
Way up.
Shortstop VR will grab that. And back into third, Jackie Bradley. Ace Ticket is Red Sox fans' trusted source for tickets. Playoff tickets are now available with lower prices, better service, and backed with a 200% guarantee. Visit aceticket.com. See, now he'd like to take his base.
Yeah, I'd take it now too. Bases loaded.
Boy, Rafael Devers in game 1, he had himself an afternoon. 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. That second home run traveled 447 feet.
I hope so. That was a blast.
That was off of infielder Jace Peterson, who, by the way, showed a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And the first one was incredibly impressive out to that 420 mark.
Yeah, this was just a bullet out there into the corner and snuck into the seats there, and this was just Ruthie in there. I mean, goodness.
One out, 2 on. friend of mine texted me after the first home run, said, "Hey, Dave, just so you know, I sat out there in that exact same seat not long ago near that 420 mark. It's a long way from home plate."
He needed his binoculars to watch the game. Well, the funny thing, because you were doing the game and I had done the pregame social, I was just watching it. I had time on my hands.
Which you guys have a lot of. I understand.
When I don't know what inning it is, but they do the dance off out there. They play some music and they pick a few guys that are all dancing.
You were in the crowd, yeah.
The guy that got where that ball hit was in the dance off. His home run landed in that guy's seat. He ended up being in the dance off later.
He had himself a pretty good day.
Yeah. I don't think he won. He wasn't that good a dancer.
I criticize no man in their dance moves. Believe me. Got to stay in your lane, Steve, as a dancer. Stay in your lane.
Just jog in slow motion.
Pretty much it.
That's all you have to do.
3-1 on Devers. And he'll take ball 4.
Good at bat.
He's had a lot of those lately, hasn't he? They're all filled up.
Friday night at 5:30. Don't miss Friday Night Fenway, presented by Budweiser. TC is going to have an exclusive interview with Alex Cora. Budweiser, legendary lager for legendary moments.
Blake Swihart, he can start doing some damage right here. He homered in game 1. His 3rd of the year. Red Sox are down 2-0. But the bases are jammed. Bradley, Holt, and Devers. Got fooled on that one. A swing and a miss, strike 1.
Now there are really 4 guys on this ball club right now that are, when heading into the playoffs, they're saying, look at me. Swihart, Pierce, Holt, and Devers. Look at what I'm doing. Consider me for some big time playing time in the playoffs.
Foul out of play to the left. 0-2 on Swihart. Brandon Phillips on deck. I think there are decisions to make at third base, second base, and first base.
Kinsler's hit a little bit of a skid. Nunez isn't healthy even yet. Hasn't made an appearance. Saw what happened last year in the playoffs, and that first at bat couldn't get out of the batter's box with that bad knee.
Guerin will have an update on Eduardo Nunez. We saw him running out here in between games of the doubleheader. It's good to see Mitch Moreland rack up a couple of hits in game 1, including a double. And he called him out. He called that a strike.
Wow.
Swihart fans.
He's tried to go in there a few times. He did the same thing on Devers. He didn't get that call for a strike. Amiket said this was not a strike. It stays kind of true right there. It is close, but it looks like it's off the plate to me.
Well, our pitch zone said it missed.
Yep. If you can't believe the pitch zone, who do you believe?
What can you believe? Brandon Phillips 188 with one gigantic home run, of course, in Atlanta, and a breaking ball lands for strike 1. Red Sox trying to avoid a big time squander here in the first inning. Yacobonis with the 0-1. Another breaking ball, a good one there. 0-2.
Right at about the same time the umpire was calling that pitch a strike, Brandon Phillips was saying it's high, it's too high. So the pitch was too high simultaneously.
0-2 on the way. And a routine ground ball.
Run fast, run
Oh,
fast.
it's bobbled and the run is in. I think that's the key. All you have to do is say routine.
Yeah.
And a run scores, and the Red Sox are on the board.
We talked about it earlier. This is the 3rd worst defense at their 103rd error of the season, the Orioles. I'll tell you what, though, VR would have had a tough time throwing out Phillips. Third baseman can't get it So it falls to VR. Now he's going to have to come up firing, and I'm not sure he throws out Brandon Phillips. You got to score it in error, I would think, but it would have been close.
So the Red Sox get a bit of a gift. It will be an error on the shortstop, and brings up Vasquez with a man at every base, and Christian at 212, 3 home runs. He singled and drove in a run in Monday's win. Vasquez with pretty good numbers against this Oriole pitching staff going back to the beginning of last year. 290 against Baltimore pitching with 4 doubles. Stopped by Joseph.
Good stop by Joseph too. Nasty slider in the dirt. Really smooth actions back there. He's an athletic kid.
Well, Yacobonis with a long first inning. Both starting pitchers have had a long first. 32 pitches.
Go.
33 pitches now, and amazingly he's only given up 1 run. Should have been out of the inning.
2 base hits, a walk, and the E6.
And a hit batsman that never came to fruition.
That's right. Yeah, when you factor that in, it's been kind of a rough first inning for Mike Muchlinski back there too.
In the second game of a doubleheader. Come on, guys.
Go.
3-2. So they're going all the way. Full count. 2 down.
Get a nice little head start. Gapper scores everybody.
And a payoff pitch to Vasquez. BR handles this one up and over in plenty of time to retire the side. Red Sox get the 1 run.
Game at midnight on Sox in 2. Sox in 2 is brought to you by Cumberland Farms, where you can get iced coffee for 99 cents, any size, any day.
Well, all eyes on Chris Sale here as the top of the second gets underway. Baltimore in front 2-1. John Andrioli, the right fielder, will dig in against him. And he starts him off at 74 for strike one. What an odd first inning, huh?
Lots of pitches.
Mullins was hit by a pitch. So was Adam Jones. Trey Mancini tripled. They got 2 runs right away off the lefty. Good change there, and the count 1-2. Andrioli claimed off waivers from Seattle in the middle of August. He played most of the year at AAA, all with Tacoma, hitting .287. Hits that one hard, and a nice play by Brock Holt. Leaning toward the line to grab that one for the first out. Let's get on to Guerin.
Obi, Steve, I talked to Eduardo Nunez today. He told me that he's feeling much better. He came in for treatment yesterday, ran the bases today, and it looks like he will DH on Friday and then be at third on Sunday. And Alex Cora told us today that they are going to shut down Tyler Thornburg for the rest of the season. He said his command has not been there these past few outings, and he hasn't responded the way that they've needed him to. He said they've been very impressed with the way he's performed at this level, but head trainer Brad Pearson said this is enough, and Cora said it's been frustrating for Thornburg, but he's looking forward to having a normal offseason, guys, and preparing for next year.
Yeah, sounds like that's exactly what he needs. I thought that was a foregone conclusion, and the Red Sox made the right call there.
Just made it official.
Steve Wilkerson here with the bases empty, 1 down. Back to the last play by Brock Holt.
Third base is a reactionary position, just a step and a dive when the ball's hit so hard. Ball catches you sometimes. Nice play.
Well, so far tonight, Chris Sale with 1 K in the book. It was VR in the first inning. 0-2. Give him another one. He has struck out Wilkerson. This quality start brought to you by BioFreeze. Chris Sale on June 13th at Camden Yards. He went 6, 2 hits, 1 earned run. He struck out 9. BioFreeze, pain relief that works. 2 strikeouts so far this evening. It's 7 strikeouts in his last start at Cleveland over 3 1/3. Red Sox would win that game. He had no decision. One coming. You had a poll in game number 1, our Dunkin' Donuts poll, about do fans think that the wild card should be extended to a best of 3. And 75% of those who voted said yes.
Well, they intentionally made the wild card game a very difficult situation to be in, because they were finding that the wild card teams could rest and figure out who they wanted to line up their rotation were, and they were winning too many of the World Series because it wasn't now all that tough to be the wild card team. Here's the results you're talking about. That might be all well and good, but we'd be playing baseball in November.
Well, my thought about that was start the season a few days earlier.
We did.
We did this year. And I mean, even a few days earlier than that, I could live without a few extra days of spring training. Swung on and missed strike 3. Chris Sale zips through that inning. are on sale now. They include new half-season and 20-game plans. For more information, call 877-RED Sox 9 or go to redsox.com/season tickets. Mike Eruzione in a very nice seat. Watching tonight's game here at Fenway. That's over near the Oriole dugout.
Yeah, like in the owner's box, in the owner's seats for the Orioles. Wow. Do you believe in miracles?
Like, look like he was checking the watch. Like he's got somewhere else he's got to be pretty soon.
Just wondering how come the Red Sox haven't scored yet. He heard all about the first game. Just one run.
Well, Sam Travis with a little comebacker handled by Acamonis, and a flip on to get him for a quick out. Zue Lin will be next. No baseball tomorrow. And the Yankees in for the weekend. Rick Porcello will pitch on Friday at 7:10. Trying to pick up his 18th win. And the regular season ends on Sunday.
Dave, we kind of got caught off before you really had a chance to react to that poll about the wild card game.
Actually, I reacted to it in game one when we did it. I was looking for your reaction on it.
I mean, like I said, it's tough. You lose one game, you go home. There's going to, you know, the Yankees have a chance to win 100 games. They could lose that game and go home. But I think they very much intentionally made it harder and tried to make it a disadvantage for the wild card team going in. And they certainly did that. If you don't, you know, if you don't want to be the wild card team, win your division. Remember when you used to have to win your division just to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, the do or die aspect of it is thrilling, and it makes every pitch in that game, you know, a stand on the top step kind of deal. I get that.
But is it fair?
That's the flip side of it.
Probably not.
I think I'd probably support, because baseball is about postseason, about series, not about one game. So having seen it for the last several years and seeing a team have a terrific year and then lose one game and that's it. What a hollow feeling that is.
Sure is.
Feels like you didn't even make the playoff as it's fouled away by Lynn. So I think I would support, you know, best out of three.
I mean, there's a great argument for either side of it. I know there was a period of time where the wild card teams were doing very, very well in the playoffs, and at some point someone stood up and said, wait a minute, there's no disadvantage to the wild card team. They just come strolling in, they play their game just like we do. We won our division, and yet wild card teams were winning World Series right and left.
That one hit toward the alley. Mullins on the move though, and he'll run it down. 2 gone.
So they gave him a serious disadvantage. You got to use your best pitcher in that game, because if you don't win, you go home, and then you start the next series at a disadvantage. No question about it. I'm happy we're not the wild card team.
Aaron Boone, when we were in New York recently, when the Sox were playing there, pretty much made his announcement about who he was going to start in the wild card game. It was going to be Masahiro Tanaka.
Yep. And he can do that.
He didn't say it definitively, but he said that's the guy who has the mindset I like for a game like that.
Well, he can do that based on 2 things. Number one, you could easily say that Tanaka is your #1 starter, and number 2, you definitely want Happ with the opportunity to throw 2 games against the Red Sox if they win that game. And there's not a Yankee fan alive that's going to say you should have started Happ in that wild card game, because those 2 guys are even. You know, you can't fault Boone for starting Tanaka, when in the back of his mind he knows he wants Happ for the Red Sox.
Well, to me, a lot of it comes back to matchups. Which pitcher makes better sense with the matchups?
And that's it. That is exactly the matchups. But someone's going to say, if Tanaka gets beat up, someone's going to say you probably should have started Happ, but you were saving him for the Red Sox and you never got to the Red Sox. Someone will say that, but I have no argument with him starting Tanaka.
2-1, and Jackie dancing out of the way. On the other hand, back to the original argument, you know, a best-of-3 series. No one's complaining about who you start in game 1 necessarily, because both of them are going to pitch.
Yep. It just makes it then 4 series you got to battle through to win a World Series.
I get you. It's a long October. Right at Wilkerson, and the Red Sox will dip in order here in the second.
NESN Clubhouse. Catch all the best moments of the season. It's the season finale of NESN Clubhouse, Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on NESN. It's presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts.
Third inning here at Fenway. The Orioles up 2-1. I cannot tell you how happy our crew is and everybody associated with New England Sports Network to have this guy back in the booth. Rem Dog, great to see you.
How you doing, buddy?
I missed you.
All right, Steve.
Yes,
what's going
sir.
on? How you doing? Good.
How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay. You know, I'm a little bit tired. I just finished up radiation yesterday, and that kind of tires me out a little bit. But you know, overall good, and that's going to come around. I know that's going to come around within the next couple of weeks. So I got to get out and do a little walking.
Are you done with radiation now?
Yes, I finished yesterday, and everything came out very well. They're working on a vaccine right now that. Hopefully that comes together, and you know they took pieces of my tumor and they're trying to build a vaccine that will use as kind of a booster, you know, to work against the cancer coming back. So,
Terry, how many weeks and sessions of radiation did you go through?
4 weeks of it, and it was a little less than expected. So you know, they were pretty high doses, I guess, but the reason I wanted to come in tonight, you know, I got a call last week from Tom Werner, and he said, you know, why don't you stop by the ballpark and, you know, just nothing to do with NESN, just, you know, just stop by the ballpark. And I said, you know, I don't know, things are going too good around here. I don't want to mess it up, you know. So, but then I got talking to my wife about it, and, you know, we have gotten so much love and support from the people in New England and all over the place, Red Sox fans everywhere, that, you know, every time a UPS box or you know, a FedEx box comes to my house, I know it's something from NESN or from Fenway Park, and it's cards filled with these boxes, and I've got them all over my house.
That'll keep you busy.
Well, it's impossible, Steve, you know, to answer those, but I want to promise people that, you know, I've been reading them, and we spend time all the time reading them. They go from age 8 to 90, and it's just an incredible feeling. And I felt that by coming in, it was a way for me to be able to thank the fans for what they've been doing. It really makes you feel good that, you know, people out there care about you and are pulling for you, and that's the reason I'm here tonight.
I got 7 more boxes back here delivered, so you take those on your way up. They keep coming in. It really is remarkable. Unfortunately, you and I have had this discussion a couple of different times in the last 2 years, but you get, I think, a great idea of what you mean to people by doing this job, doing it the way you do it, what you mean to folks.
That's humbling. You know, you don't realize the fact, you know, I've been here 31 years. I've dealt with a lot of people, obviously. They've invited me into their homes for all these baseball seasons, and, you know, they're extremely I guess thankful and grateful, and some of the letters just they bring tears to your eyes. They really do. So, you know, I wanted this opportunity to be able to, you know, I just can't do it personally. We just don't have the manpower to do it, but it's just a way for me to be able to thank the fans for all they've done. And you know, I just can't say enough about it. It really picks you up.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. And by the way, when I saw you tonight in the booth, and I think everyone's felt the same way who's seen you today, I'm amazed at how good you look.
Looks great.
I'm a good-looking guy, Dave. You know that. So.
Especially sitting between us. Jeez.
This is a big improvement over what's happened here.
No, you know, I didn't feel like this year was as bad as last year. Last year was a combination of surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and that really wore me down. This year's basically been just the radiation.
That'll be strike 3 and another brisk inning. Jerry will stay with us for another half inning. The Rem Dog back with us in the booth where he belongs here, 2-1. Sox up here in the bottom half of the third inning. Dave O'Brien alongside Steve Lyons, and the handsome man in the middle is Jerry Remy. And how is it right now for you on an everyday basis? You know, just getting around, doing the things you're doing, you know, whatever you're doing, running errands, being around the house, whatever it is at this point. Is it close to normal?
Not yet, Dave. It's you know, I still get tired very easily, especially days after radiation. You know, today's the day after. I had it yesterday, and so I'm a little bit out of gas tonight. I've been doing a lot of laying in the chair, and I must admit, I haven't watched a lot of baseball because by 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, I'm sleeping. So, you know, I've missed a lot of the action for the last couple of months. But I'll tell you what, it's been really something, hasn't it?
It has been an amazing run, and you were there for a huge chunk of it. But I mean, 107 wins. You look up there, Jerry, and you've been doing it since you were a kid, and I did too. That's silly.
It's incredible. You know, I think of one year that we had where we won 99 games and went home after the season. To think about winning 107 games and probably 108 after this one's over. I mean, it's just remarkable, and I have a real good feeling about this team going into the playoffs. I really do. I think that this is the strongest unit we've had here in quite some time. We've seen guys mature beyond their years this season. We've seen great performances by J.D. Martinez. Of course, Mookie Betts, probably MVP of the league. And it just goes on and on and on. We saw the afternoon that Bogarts had, that Devers had this afternoon. So I think this team is in a great position to take home the big prize.
Steve Pearce, the batter, with the bases empty, as we chat with Jerry Remy. When was the last date you were in the booth? Was it the Yankees series back in July?
Yeah, I did the Yankee series, and then we flew to Toronto, and we got late in the morning. I don't think, maybe you weren't on that flight.
No, I decided to go the next day. Yeah.
And I knew that week that I had cancer again, and it was starting to really mess my mind up. And I got to Toronto, and I said, what am I doing here? I said, you know, I don't belong here. I belong home. You know, getting treatment or doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, at least get the ball rolling on this thing. And so, you know, that's when I called Sean McGrill and I said, you know, Sean, I got it again. So I worked a week knowing that I didn't tell anybody that I had it. But then when I got on the road, it was just basically impossible to continue.
Well, Jerry, the amazing thing to me was that the weekend before that was the Yankee series, and you knew how important it was to this team. You knew it was a huge series at that point in time.
Yeah.
And you gutted through that.
Well,
and then went up to Toronto.
Yeah, I know. But when I hit Toronto, I hit the wall. You know, I really did.
Look at the signs out there. Perfect.
You got a lot of that, man. It's really, really nice. But yeah, when I got to Toronto, I hit the wall, and I said, what am I doing here? I said, it's time to get back with my great team of doctors and find out where we go. And there were a few options.
That'll bounce away from Joseph and advance Pearce up to second base. So Red Sox have the tying run in scoring position.
There were a few options that we had, and one of them was surgery, and it was very, very high risk. So I kind of turned it down. They were going to remove my whole right lung because that's where the problem continues to come from. And it was the doctor told me, the surgeon told me, and I trust everything that he says, that it's a very, very high risk during surgery and after surgery. So, you know, people talk about quality of life, so it's something that I didn't want to take a chance with. So that's when we decided on going the route of radiation. So that's gone very well.
Boy, it sounds like you made the right choice. When you told me that in Toronto that day, that was one of the things that was being discussed, you scared the you-know-what out of me and a lot of other people.
Yeah, it scared me too.
Yeah,
you know, that's the scary part about it. You just don't know. You know, you got so much confidence in what your team is telling you that they kind of comfort you a little bit. Pick off a temp, huh? Where's he gonna go? He's gonna steal third? Come on.
Spring training for everybody in these games. Man.
Yeah, it's. This is wrapping up for you, though. Finally, it's wrapping up, and it's on to the postseason.
Yeah. Can't wait for Sunday to roll around. It's just been a magic carpet ride of a season. You were there to catalog so much of it before you left, and you knew what it's. And I know this is true. You wanted so much to do the entire season.
I did.
And a big part of it was you knew what an amazing year it was.
Well, you know, it's always fun to cover winning baseball, but this was not only winning baseball, this was great baseball to watch this year. It really was, right, Steve?
Yes, it was.
You know, so
much
I mean,
fun every night.
Yeah, it is. It's fun every single night to watch this ball club play, and that's really the dream of an announcer, right? Is to be with a ball club that's a good team. That's you know they got a great chance to win no matter what the score is in the ball game. And
entertaining.
I'm so anxious for you know, next week to come and get the playoff thing started. And I like I said, I just got a real good feeling about this. And the job Alex Carr has done, you know, from day one of spring training, you could tell a difference that, you know, it was going to be kind of a different attitude. And you know, sometimes something new brings new attitudes toward people, and I think we could read that very early in spring training. We could read that early with Alex Carr, and I think that is he way up here? I don't know. Yeah, he is. But you could tell a difference right away during spring training, and he's carried that throughout the season.
Is he listening to you right now? How's he know you're up here?
I don't know. He texts me. He texts me quite often to find out how I'm doing. So maybe he just had a sense I was going to be here.
So funny. Jerry's waving to the manager during the games. I like it.
How do you think I call all the plays? I get the signs.
What are you going to do here, AC?
Not the least bit surprised, by the way. Runner at second and 2 down. Now, if this were the Yankees, and you know it was a tie up top the division, I don't think he'd be messing around. But he's delighted to have you back, and you know it's a big deal to have you back in the booth. It really is.
Well, it feels good to be here. It really does. And you know, this is good therapy for me, and I'm so glad that I came in today. I had a nice meeting with John Henry, Sean McGrail, Sam Kennedy, Tom Werner. They've all been so supportive of me throughout this whole process. And it's just been a nice day for me to get out.
Jerry, is the toughest part about doing something like this the fact that, I mean, you just don't really like the attention? I know you're not comfortable with, I mean, the love that's been poured out to you over these years, and certainly over this year, is amazing, but it can be uncomfortable at times for you.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of tired and sick of myself talking about cancer, you know. But you know, I figure, Steve, that you know, we have a public forum to be able to do something like that, and if we can help somebody down the road, you know, if I can help one person by talking about things like depression or things like cancer, you know, that I've battled through, if I can help one person, I think it's worth it. You know, I'm not going to go on a soapbox, but you know, the fact is, you know, you have this opportunity through the media and through being on television, and
sure.
And you know, if you're struggling through things like that, I mean, there's hope, and that's what I hope to, you know, get across to the folks out there who are really struggling with some serious problems.
Brandon Phillips, and in there for a strike. First and second, 2 down. 2-1 Baltimore here in the third inning. I'm not going to get you started on the Pats because I know.
No, don't worry about a thing. I'm telling you,
okay?
they're banged up a little bit right now. Right. As Belichick says, you don't know what your team's like till after 6 games. You got guys coming back healthy. You're going to have Edelman back. You know, you're going to have your defense come back. A couple of guys were out with concussions, Flowers and Chung last week. So, you know, they're going to be just fine. I still predict that they're going to be. You're going to see them in the AFC Finals. And
you're staying awake for those games, though, aren't you?
Oh, well, they're day games, you know, except for the last Sunday game. I had to take like an afternoon nap to make it through, and then I slept in late the next morning.
1-1 and in there for a strike. Before you leave us tonight at the end of this inning, I mean, I just got to tell you, you are the toughest guy I know, and I know so many of those cards and letters are saying that, but we, your colleagues, feel the exact same way, and me as your partner, I've never met anybody tougher than you.
Well, I appreciate that, you know, and there are plenty of people tough. I see them every single day when I go in for treatment.
Shortstop VR will have plenty of time and on target. Great to see you.
Nice to see you, Dave, again.
Continued success on the recovery, my friend.
Keep going, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Jerry Remy, the great Rem Dog, joining us here tonight at Fenway Park. Top of the fourth coming up from Fenway. The Orioles with a 2-1 lead. Our thanks again to Jerry Remy, Red Sox Hall of Famer. I can't get over how good he looks.
Yeah, me too. I had seen him at that little night we had in Worcester just about a week ago, and I was shocked how good he looked and how well he's doing.
I mean, he's not kidding. He looks better than either one of us. Adam Jones hit by a pitch in the first inning. Chris Sale last inning got 1 strikeout, 2 the inning before. So he's not allowed a base runner in the last couple of frames. Strike percentage is also rising. Alex Cora wants him to get, if he can, to 100 pitches tonight, or 6 innings.
Halfway there. I think at the very least you would say this is a different kind of outing that we're seeing out of Chris Sale tonight. Many more breaking balls. The velocity on the fastball has not been there. And yet still battling through these innings after giving up the 2 in the first.
There's a drive very high toward the top of the wall. It's going to be a Fenway single high off the monster for Jones. So he is quickly aboard. Time now for a social drive brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Here's Casey.
Obi, so the Orioles orange jerseys are reminding me of the Philadelphia Flyers new mascot. He's totally creepy, googly-eyed, orange, fuzzy, 7 feet tall. It's kind of bizarre. But anyway, let's bring this back to baseball. Cut 4 making this comparison. So the new mascot, Gritty, looks just like Justin Turner. Would anybody notice if they switched places?
I don't think so. I think that's a match right there. Justin Turner might not agree.
Never seen him at the same place at the same time.
There you go. Renato Nunez drove in a run with a sac fly first time. Baltimore with a 2-1 lead. Hits are even at 2. And a 1-0 foul tip to the mitt. Yankees have a 2.5 game lead for their top wild card spot over the Oakland A's. Oakland is at Seattle tonight. Tampa Bay has taken a 4-3 lead on the Yankees in the 3rd inning. If you missed it earlier today, and you are forgiven if you did, Red Sox romped over Baltimore 19-3, pounding out 22 hits. David Price got the win. Another very strong effort out of Stephen Wright out of the bullpen.
When he's healthy, he's outstanding. It's kind of been his MO his entire career here with the Red Sox.
Check swing and a foul.
Price had an odd outing, had that one really bad inning, gave up the home runs, walked 3 guys, and then pretty much pitched like David Price the rest of the game.
Jones at first and nobody out, and the 1-2. That one ate him up.
Nasty.
Nasty indeed with that slider. This outsider timeout is presented by LL Bean. From the ballpark to your local park, the outside is always better together. LL Bean, be an outsider. Very comfortable night. Today was muggy.
Yeah, about 80 degrees and sticky.
Rickard 0 for 1. He has popped to center.
Talking to some people in the stands that said, you know, obviously it was a makeup game for a game that got rained out the night before. Most people, you know, couldn't make arrangements to get here again, so it was a sparse crowd. But I was talking to people that said, I can't remember the last time I saw a game at Fenway that had that few people at it. Still enjoyable. There were still a bunch of people here, but it was not a sellout.
Being a makeup game, yeah. School day and a work day.
Sure.
Packed tonight.
There are so many people that have to make special arrangements to get to a game that they were supposed to go to last night. Think of how difficult it would be, hey, to show up today.
So you were sitting in the stands just chatting with fans and enjoying a hot dog, and
I know some people.
I noticed your seats were pretty good, but was the primary conversation, hey, what is Tom Caron really like in person?
Actually, I heard that someone was tweeting me or telling me or doing something saying, hey, you're on TV. I was actually talking about Rafael Devers to a friend of mine sitting next to it. So that was all baseball conversation.
What's when we put you on camera?
We don't care about TC that much.
You really don't?
Until I have to work with him. Then I care a lot about him.
Well, I happen to be very fond of him. And nice play by Brockholt at third. Down the second one. No double play. Pierce coming off the bag to knock it down. But another excellent stop out of Brockholt. Swinging the bat. He's playing tremendous D.
I mean, this just isn't a double play ball. It takes way too long to set up. He did a great job of trying to get it going, and then Pierce does a good job of keeping that ball in front of him. But that is a tremendous play. Reverse pivot. Just too tough a play to turn 2 on. Now, I know these words will come back to bite me, because I love working with Tom Caron, who's seriously one of the best in the business.
Oh, you can't get, I don't know if you can get out of that now.
But I don't hang around at ball games just talking about TC.
Well, the umpires are going over to review a play here.
Maybe the play at second base as to whether or not he was on the bag when the throw was made. See the throw here. See, he came off the base. I bet that's what they're looking at. He took that left foot off the base, and from that angle I would say that he'd be called safe. Used to be the old neighborhood play where you could get yourself out of there, and then you see Jones going in as hard as we've seen anybody this year. That rarely happens anymore.
Well, here's the angle, and he's not touching the base.
Nope.
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Seems like the Orioles could have an argument that he didn't touch the base, and the Red Sox could have an argument that the guy went in too hard at second base. If this is the call, if you're looking at whether he's on the base or not, he's going to be ruled safe, because neither one of those feet are on second base. Neither one of them touching the base when he caught the throw.
And just to be clear, the Red Sox aren't reviewing this. The Orioles are.
Right. So that's exactly what they're looking at.
I don't think the Red Sox have a beef about anything there at second, but he's going to be safe. Yes. So they'll send the runner on back. So Adam Jones will return to second as Buck Showalter wins the appeal on a review. And Rickard becomes the runner at first base for first and second. One man out.
You know, Brandon Phillips played second base, Gold Glove second baseman for so many years. The old neighborhood play. You have to try to teach an old dog new tricks when you're making him stay on the base now.
Andreoli hit the ball pretty hard first time up. He lined to Brockholt at third. And just to clean up the scoring, that's also an error on Brandon Phillips. So add an E4 to the fielder's choice. 2 on and 1 out. And a strike.
Accidentally bumped into Andreoli's little nieces today wearing all Orioles stuff. I'm not sure who was maybe assuming it was his brother, and his kids, all in Orioles stuff. And he said, no, wait a minute. Don't get us wrong. We're huge Red Sox fans. We just happen to have a relative who's playing for the Orioles. We got to play the part.
That makes perfect sense. Very acceptable.
Yeah.
Again, the fastball velocity has been way down for Chris Sale, but he's only allowed a couple of hits tonight. He has struck out 5. Looking for the 6th right now.
Well, what we've seen here is, for some reason, he does not have as good fastball. He doesn't have the velocity on it. His command with the fastball is not bad, but he's gone to his secondary pitches. We know he's got a great slider. He's leaned more heavily on that tonight. He's got a good changeup. He's using that as well. So a different kind of start, still effective.
Oh, man. Did not get the call there. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Boy, this late into a doubleheader. That's a strike, isn't it? Where did that miss?
Looked like it was right at the knee.
You know, Vasquez had to reach across to catch it because they were trying to go hard back leg, and he kind of left it out over the plate, but that's still a strike.
2-2. As a Red Sox fan, I'm sure part of you wants to think, well, maybe, just maybe, he's trying something a little different here tonight. It's a different approach. Not sure why that would be the case in your last tune-up before postseason play, but not wanting to push it quite as hard.
Maybe he thinks this gives him the best opportunity to get to 100 pitches.
But that's all for later. We don't know that now.
Sure.
At this moment in time,
he'll tell us.
You know, he didn't want to hit 2 guys in the first inning. And that's foul tipped into the mitt. Put him away with the slider, and there's the 6th strikeout tonight.
Yeah, he can throw this slider anytime, any location. Really tough to hit, especially when it's at the kneecaps. Kneecaps and movement. That's a good combo.
Every time a Red Sox pitcher strikes out an Oriole, Lexus will donate $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. Brings up Steve Wilkerson, strikeout victim, his first time up. Sale is about on the identical strikeout pace he was in Cleveland.
Except for in Cleveland, he was already out of the game by this point.
Yeah, he
went 3 1/3.
3 1/3. He's gotten 3 2/3 tonight. He has 6 strikeouts. Struck out 7 in Cleveland and against a vastly superior lineup.
Sneaking up on that pitch count too. He had 73 pitches in that 3 1/3. Got a chance to get through 4 here, right around 73 pitches again.
It's a very similar outing, because in that one, 3 1/3, he gave up 2 runs as well and struck out 7 and didn't walk anybody, and he hasn't walked anyone tonight, although he did hit 2 batters. And a trickler to third base. Brock Holt in foul territory takes it. Oh, the fullest of moons.
Wow.
Almost looks like a movie set.
It's
the real thing.
Batman. Look at the clouds floating by.
Yep, just beautiful. 2 strikes on Wilkerson.
Where's the Wolfman?
Runners edge off first and second. Jones, the runner at second, the man who was sent back out there after the review. Sale has hit 94 in this game. He fires a 1-2 and he put him away. He still has that in the back pocket for his 7th K tonight. Quality Franks for all Sox fans. Pick up KM Fenway Franks at your grocer today. KM, together we grill. Very pleasant night here at Fenway Park. 2-1 Orioles as we take it to the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Look at that shot. Wow.
Mike Narachi, our director, will always find the moon. It cannot hide. Just gorgeous. Vasquez 0 for 1 with a tapper to short. Each side with just 2 hits so far. Chris Sale just struck out his 7th man.
Good looking slider tonight, that's for darn sure.
These last couple of starts for Chris, you're reminded he's a pitcher. Not just a guy who can throw 97, 98 miles an hour when he's right. Nunez will fire on to get Vasquez, 1 man away. And that'll send up Sam Travis, who's 0 for 1. Sox trying to pick up win number 108. Just 51 losses all season long. Season began in March. Red Sox went 2-1. Then in April 19-6. In May 18-11. June 17-10. Then 19-6, 18-9, and this month 13-8.
Amazing consistency when you look at those numbers.
And at various times when the offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders, it's been the starting pitching. Red Sox team ERA has been in the top 4 or 5 all season long.
This team hasn't hit a lot of adversity as far as, you know, really bad droughts, but they've been in rough situations a lot of the time during the season. They were a great team in bad weather.
And I don't think you can underrate how important that is,
especially when you get into October.
Sure.
They played in the cold and they beat people in the cold. They played in the rain and they beat people. They went on long road trips in the first half and continued to beat people. They were in adverse situations so many times this year and played well doing it.
Travis stings that one off the glove of Wilkerson and caroms into center for a base hit. Hot shot by Sam Travis, and he's aboard. It's Winning Wednesday, and if the Red Sox do win, Plain Ridge Park Casino will donate $777 to the Relay for Life of North Attleboro. Zhu-Wei Lin next. He's 0 for 1, a fly to center. Third Red Sox hit tonight by Sam Travis.
That's a play there at second base that Wilkinson had. That's such a difficult play, but you're spoiled here. You saw Petey make that play so often over the years. Not an easy play to make. Pedroia made it look easy every time.
Runner taken off, and that one's ripped down the line. Off the side wall. A little bit of trouble. It sticks there. Here comes the run. Travis is in. Lynn taken off for third, and he's safe. Sox tie it 2-2.
Nice little hit and run play they had right here. This is a good pitch to do it on. Zhu-Wei Lin just hammers this ball down in the corner. And Travis already on the run. And Carlos Fabulous, watch him coach third base. Sending one runner and then coming back to third to make sure he picks up Lin and tells him what to do. Here's Fabulous there in the middle of your screen on the left-hand side, coming down. He's got to make a decision with Travis. Going to score him, and now he's got to get back and tell Lynn to keep coming to third base. There's a lot of things going on for a third base coach on a play like that.
Infield in. Here's Jackie Bradley. An opportunity to put the Red Sox in front. Jackie has a base hit, and he's grounded out so far tonight. Yacobonis up to 74 pitches.
If you're a third base coach, you generally don't want anyone to even know your name, because there's no credit in the job. Usually if they're talking about you, you sent someone home when you shouldn't have. And he's done a remarkable job all season long coaching third base.
And that is saying something in Boston.
You're right, because we don't miss the opportunity to say that you messed up.
Virtually no such criticism of Carlos Fabulous. Red Sox score a lot of runs.
Yes, they do. He's the one guy that has to go ice his arm after the game. Right. They scored 19 in the first one. He should have got the day off in the nightcap.
One down, 1-2 to Jackie Bradley.
The Red Sox are the American League East champions for a record third straight season. Relive all the best moments from this season, the grand slams, the defensive gems, and the historic milestones. Don't miss Red Sox Best of 2018 Monday night at 8 o'clock on NESN. It's brought to you in part by Sam Adams, the official beer of the Boston Red Sox.
Two. To your point earlier about points in the season where the Red Sox did something and it made you think, wow, I mean, that's out of the ordinary. They swept Baltimore here, in the middle of April, then went to Anaheim. And remember all of the talk about the Angels.
How good they were.
And Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout and everybody else. And like, oh boy, the Angels are going to be very tough. Red Sox went out there and swept them, and not only swept them, they beat them 10-1, 9-0, and 8-2.
The differential there was a joke. Just rubbed their noses in it when they came out there. Battle of two first place teams, East Coast, West Coast.
A lot of hype about the Angels at that time. The Red Sox cooled that very quickly, didn't they? And that's not to badmouth the Angels or anything that's happened to them this season. That was the state of where the Red Sox were and the Angels were, where baseball was at that time. And the Red Sox went out there and pounded them.
And it was the talk of the game. Big series early in the season between two really good teams.
Infield in tight, one down, 3-2 coming. Good at bat here by Jackie Bradley as he fouls off the slider.
8 pitches so far.
Tanner Scott active in their bullpen.
If Yacobonis goes with a slider again, it won't be backdoor. Jackie was all over that one. If he wants to throw a slider again, it'll go down and in.
Lynn at third. Boy, really good at bat. He took ball 4. 9-pitch at bat to take the walk.
Tune in tonight to NESN's news coverage to get a complete recap of Week 3 of the NFL season. Plus, we're going to look ahead to the Patriots' Week 4 matchup with the Dolphins. NESN's coverage of the NFL regular season is brought to you by Cross Insurance, where security meets strength.
So Yacobonis taken out here in the 4th inning. We're going to take the break as well as they go to the bullpen. We're all tied up 2-2, Red Sox with the lead run at third. By William Ravis Real Estate. We take a look at the Red Sox 19-3 win earlier today. Mookie Betts not only 2 for 2, but he stole his 30th base. Xander Bogaerts up to 100 RBIs. Rafael Devers driving in 6 and 2 blasts. Brock Holt with a base hit. He's also flied out 1 for 2.
Lots of milestones in that game 1 today.
Yeah, a lot of them taken care of, or at least tied in the course of the 1 ball game this afternoon. Scott, the left-hander, he's a strikeout guy, but has a high ERA of 5.36.
You see Bogey's reaction when he hit that home run into the batter's eye, and as soon as he hit it, he knew he had 100 RBIs. Drove in 4 on the day. That gave him 100 even. What a nice year he's had.
Oh, career year.
Kind of knew it was coming.
Foul at the plate. You and I were around him a lot in spring training and did a lot of games where, yeah, you could see this coming. And the philosophy that Alex Cora really imposed on him was, you're big, you're strong, you can do that. You can drive the ball with men on base.
Tim Hires came in as the hitting coach and got him to stand up straighter. Stay behind the ball a little bit more. As you said, stand up. You're a big guy. Swing the bat. Stop serving balls into right field.
They wanted him hitting home runs and doubles with runners on base.
He's done that.
Yeah. That's in it for strike 3. So Brock Holt fans out number 2 brings up Steve Pearce in a 2-2 tie. Steve tonight has popped to short and he's taken ball 4. Red Sox trying to grab the lead here against the Orioles.
Pearce makes the start against the right-handed starter. It doesn't work out so well for him. He's out of the game. They bring the lefty in, and that's what Pearce's forte is. All of a sudden he shows up, gets to see a lefty.
Here's the 0-1 from Scott in tight. Pearce hitting .326 off lefties. He's got Lynn at third and Jackie Bradley at first. High chop in the infield. And BR will go to first base. And plenty of time to the third out. Red Sox have tied it at 2.
Number 1 app to follow the Red Sox as they prepare for the postseason. Download MLB at Bat today.
Tied up 2-2, bringing you the 5th inning from Fenway. Game number 2 of the doubleheader. Red Sox trying to sweep it. Chris Sale on the mound. Going to be held to 100 pitches or 6 innings tonight. He's hit 73 as of this one. He does have 7 Ks. And he has had a great slider tonight. Little looper toward right. Phillips can't handle it. Spins out of the glove. And so Joseph will be on with a base hit.
Phillips chasing this ball. He knows it's going to have a lot of spin on it, little English. And he knows he has to reverse pivot and do this very quickly. If he can't do it quick, he's not going to get him. He just lost that on the transfer.
So Joseph on with a single. That'll bring up top of the order and Cedric Mullins, who's been hit by pitch and grounded out. Only the third Oriole hit.
Now we talk all the time about how quick middle infielders are with their hands, usually because they don't reach in and get the ball. Watch it. They throw the ball to their offhand. They're so quick because they're never going in there to get it. They take the glove, they catch it, and they'll throw it to their offhand and then make the play. That time he wasn't able to grab it.
Mullins is determined to bunt Chris Sale. He tried to do it leading off the ball game too.
He wants to bunt.
You talk about
there's some quick hands,
quick
right
hands
there.
and quick feet. Great footwork. One and foul.
And it's weird when you talk. If you talk to PD about that, he'll say, "No, I don't really do that." But if you show him, then he'll say, "I guess I kind of do," because you've got to be quick, and so you're doing everything. You're just opening up the glove, and your other hand's in there so often. You know how to do it. You're kind of just throwing it there and going. Especially when you're turning a double play, all you're doing is stopping the ball and throwing it. You never catch it.
Talking with Guerin earlier, he seemed very, very positive about returning next year and returning to full health with that knee, being ready to go by spring training. As a bunt attempt popped up, Chris Sale will grab that. Back to first base, Joseph. He will not be as determined to bunt any longer.
No, it's enough.
Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. WB Mason wants to congratulate the Boston Red Sox on their historic season. Who but WB Mason?
Getting back to Pedroia, one of the things I love that he said when he addressed the team is enjoy it. And I was amazed that he said, you know, I haven't. I'm so focused on what I'm doing. I'm not having as much fun when I'm playing because it's always got to go to the next game. Well, he said, open your eyes and enjoy what you're doing out there.
A very different perspective for him now.
Now, watching for the entire season, that hasn't been fun, but it's been a learning experience for him.
It's a voice of wisdom.
Yeah, but you know what? It's so hard because almost every player's that way. You can't really relax. Got to play. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
VR is 0 for 2. He struck out and flied out. Eduardo Rodriguez firing in the bullpen.
Giving him another opportunity out of the pen. See how he reacts. Good chance he'll be throwing out of the pen at some point during the postseason.
One out, one on, 2-2. Our score.
I love today's players, though, the flair that they played with, that guys of my generation weren't allowed to do, hadn't figured out how to do it. These guys have so much confidence in their ability that they're so much looser, they're more fluid, they have more fun. I was spending a lot of my time being afraid that I was going to make a mistake. These guys aren't afraid. They just, you think that guy right there is afraid of anything?
What on earth would Mookie Betts be afraid of?
Only the boogeyman. That's about it. This guy can. How about how he turned it up a notch at the end of the season when the MVP conversation started?
He broke away, I thought.
Just blew everyone away. Even now, I think I heard you say he had a home run in 3 straight games. He didn't get one today, but had 2 more hits.
Yep, that'll be in there for strike 3. BR takes a swing a little too late after the fact. And 8 strikeouts now for Chris Sale.
OB, Steve, in between games, they were pulling out a new second base because Mookie took the other one from the first game home. And he's going to have quite an impressive collection of new things in his me room at the end of the season, I think.
You know, he told me a couple of months ago he's building an addition on his house. And I said, you know, leave a lot of room for trophies. And he just kind of smiled a little bit. He's such a humble kid. But he's going to have to leave a lot of room for trophies.
Knowing him, he'll probably build a little baseball field and he'll stick that thing in at second base.
He 1-0.
Well, at least when he stole that base, he didn't pull the base out of the ground, stand up and say, I'm the greatest.
Here's the steal from today that made him a 30-30 man.
was a good slide that got him in here.
Oh, he missed. I'm here.
Oh, so that's, we were talking about that earlier when the microphone picked that up. Thought initially that was the second base umpire at the time. It was Mike Winters. That was Mookie.
Mookie, he missed me. Yeah.
32 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Only Jacoby Ellsbury and Mookie Betts have ever done that in a Red Sox uniform. I love these microphones. They pick up so much.
Here's that stolen base.
Oh, he missed. I'm here.
It's so fun. It's just matter of fact. No. He missed me.
Base stealer, home run hitter, umpire. 3-1. And it'll be ball 4. So Mancini aboard. Joseph down to second. Adam Jones coming up. That's the first walk issued by Chris tonight. Dan Levangie wants a word. Red Sox and the Orioles in a 2-2 tie. Red Sox trying to sweep the twin bill.
Now it's interesting to note, you see Mookie Betts and we all think he's going to win the MVP. We think he is the MVP. He's a 32 homers, 30 stolen bases, just the second player ever in Red Sox history. The other one was Jacoby Ellsbury in 2011. That season he finished second in the MVP vote.
To Justin Verlander.
Yes, sir.
And if that Red Sox team hadn't ended the season the way it did, that collapse,
ooh,
I think he wins the MVP.
He was a tremendous player who's playing out the string now, not having a whole lot of fun with a Yankee uniform on, and about I think 3 years left on that deal.
And he's an afterthought at the moment. Unfortunately, it's awful to think that, but it's true. Well, Jones has been hit by a pitch and singled. Does have one career home run against Chris Sale. (0-2) at the Cancer Center at Beth Israel Deaconess. Imagining a world without cancer isn't their dream, it's their job. BIDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox.
It's uncomfortable watching these Oriole hitters try to hit this slider. You feel bad for them.
Well, bidding for that 9th strikeout. 94 with the Heat. Sales pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 91 pitches in 4 2/3. This will be his last inning.
Yeah, I don't think they'll send him back out there for more. 10 pitches. He could get 2 outs. He's still got to get out of this inning.
That one roped down into the corner. That's going to get to the warning track. Up against the green monster. A run is in. Joseph scores. Mancini down to third. And to second, it's Jones with an RBI double. And the Orioles are back in front. And here comes Alex Cora.
You know, this was actually a decent pitch, but just a really good hitter who put a good swing on a tough pitch. Watch what Jones does with this pitch. That's that slider we talked about. It's no fun watching him try to hit it, but he got out in front of this one. You got to try to pull that pitch. He gets the bat head out. He's all bent out, leaning out over the plate. It wasn't his best swing, but he got the barrel on it.
Well, a nice hand. 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. The men on base are his responsibility. He struck out 8. And I think the most interesting thing is going to be what he says afterwards, how he felt about this outing and how Alex Cora and Dana Levangie viewed it. In the meantime, here comes Eduardo.
Well, it was clearly a different kind of start for him. Be interesting to see if that was by design. If he said, hey, I wanted to throw my slider a lot more, I wasn't worried about, you know, blowing guys away with the fastball, I know I can do that. Or will he say, look, I didn't feel like I had a good fastball, I had to rely on the slider more.
Well, still a couple of men on base, and the left-hander will take over. Time for our high-strength steel play, brought to you by New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, he still did strike out a ton of guys. That one with the fastball. Watch how many of them are with the slider and his off-speed. There's a slider. There's another one. Slider way in the dirt. Can't hit it. Slider. Let me know when it gets repetitive. Another slider. Slider. Fastball. How about that? Froze VR. Was expecting the slider. Wouldn't have hit that either.
Yeah. What it left you wanting was 97-98.
Yep.
99-100.
Remember when he made the adjustment to his windup and he started rocking and firing a little bit more, and his velocity went from 95 up to near 99 and 100. It looked like his windup might have been a little more abbreviated tonight.
So you're thinking, you know, he still has some mechanical things he needs to work out to get back to that.
Or he just didn't go there today. I don't know why he wouldn't, but and he'll probably say his winds up exactly the same. It just didn't look like he was like the old rock and fire guy a little bit that he had become.
So Rodriguez takes over with runners at second and third. Renato Nunez has driven in a run with a sac fly. He's also struck out. One of the 8 strikeouts by Chris Sale this evening.
Ooh. Come right in firing.
Eduardo in a new role for this year.
You want to find out what he can do in a dirty inning. He's got one right here.
Nunez 1 for 2 off him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox and Orioles conclude their 19-game season series tonight. Red Sox have won 16 out of the first 18. They've won 19 out of their last 21 against the Orioles going back to last year.
Remember for a number of years how the Orioles dominated the Red Sox.
Sure.
That turned around. What's in his future?
Well, there are going to be several jobs open. Buck remains a very good manager. A little pop into center field, and Jackie Bradley coming on to make the catch. So Rodriguez holds them at second and third.
Sports Today. Get highlights and reaction from the Garden as the Bruins host the Red Wings in preseason action. NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank, where the technology is as helpful as the people.
Rafael Devers to lead it off here, bottom of the 5th inning. He's walked and struck out tonight. 3-2 Baltimore, each side with 4 hits. He provided a lot of fireworks in game 1. 4 for 5, 2 homers. He drove in 6 runs.
It's a good week.
Both of his home runs were slaughtered.
Woo.
That's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Swihart on deck, and then Brandon Phillips. And Scott's 0-2. "21 home runs for the 21-year-old. So when you look at the Red Sox moving into next year, not to skip beyond what's going to be a huge month of October, but he very well might have a real active role in that. But for next year, what does your mind tell you to project for Rafael Devers?
Well, I think there's no question that he learned so much this year about the kind of player he is and what's expected out of him. You know, I think he's still working on a good game plan when he goes to the plate. He's still so young that I don't know that he's really figured that out, but that's starting to come, and Alex Cora will help him with that. Tim Hires will help him with that. He's got to get better defensively. We all know that. He's 21 years old.
There's a lot of talent there with that bat in his hands.
Absolutely. And, you know, I mean, he may have been here a little early at 21, but he's, for the most part, held his own. He's not hitting as high as he'd like to. I project him. I mean, he's going to be a 30 home run guy.
Scott with a 1-2. Shot toward the wall. Racing back Rickard. Back. It's off the 10. And to second base, Devers with a stand-up double.
The ball was off the 10, and so was Rickard. And that's what I love about him right there. And that's what we saw out of him when he first came up. Remember? He has such a brilliant opposite field swing. Watch everybody run into the wall. Bang. That hurts, too, because that's metal. Watch the swing. Bang. Ball traveled away from him. He just went ahead and went out there and hit it that way.
Tying run at second for the Sox. Blake Swihart has struck out looking and taken a walk. He'll go the other way and drop that one down for a base hit. And really charging. Devers coming home. Here's the throw. It's cut, and the Red Sox have tied the game. Blake Swihart with the RBI. And we're even at 3.
Swihart is a better hitter from the left side, but he fights one off from the right side. Just a jam shot. Little duck snort out there in the right field. That bounces in. Watch the jump that Devers gets. A good read there. Saw where the ball was, and now he's off to the races. Good turn at third. Scores easily there.
Devers again in the thick of it. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said he's not going to be playing third base in game 1 of the division series. Now, what do you think?
I think there's no question that he gets opportunities to play in the World Series. I think if, you know, Alex Cora is a big defensive guy who wants you to catch the ball. And I think if there's any worry at all, that's where it is. He's not worried about Rafi swinging the bat. I think he's worried about making a crucial error late in the ball game.
Runner goes, pitch high, toss down, is not in time. Blake Swihart with a theft.
Good look at the tag right here. Look at him blocking the base with his knee. Good job. And then he pulls it back up so he can get in there. Didn't want to get spiked, I guess. It's a catcher stealing a base. Dave, what do you think about Devers and his playing time?
You know, I think it might be determined by the matchup, who the pitcher is in game one. If it's a left-hander, I don't think he's going to be out there. So let's say the Yankees make it.
Haps your game one.
Haps the game one. I don't think it'll be him.
Gets a chance to come off the bench maybe and swing the bat.
Yep. But I agree with you. He's worked his way into the rotation of playing.
And do you agree that for Alex Cora, the worry is defense more than anything else?
No question. But a couple of weeks ago, he was slumping too.
Yeah.
And had removed himself from that conversation. But now he's just tearing the cover off the ball.
Well, you know, the entire team kind of went through that lull. And I think the thought was, hey, they're going to go through this and hopefully they'll all start coming out of it at the same time. And they are. Mookie turned up a notch. JD's starting to hit with power again.
Phillips is 0 for 2.
Bogey's driven 100 runs.
Phillips fans. Well, to honor the 2018 Red Sox for having the most wins in franchise history, Louisville Slugger is releasing the full-size two-tone laser engraved bat. It's a historic collectible, only $129.95 plus shipping. It'll be limited to only 5,000 individually numbered bats. To order yours today, call 866-280-BATS or go to BigTimeBats.com. One down for Vasquez. He's grounded out twice on the infield. Red Sox here in game 2 have been playing from behind all night. They've tied it up here on the Swihart base hit to chase in Devers. Blake with a stolen base, ready to score himself. Nice stop there by Joseph. The Red Sox are 17 out of 18 in stolen bases in their last 13 games. They hardly ever get thrown out.
They're so smart about it. Tommy Goodwin has had a lot to do with that. The first base coach helps out with the running and stealing. Jackie Bradley never gets thrown out his whole life. Mookie, 30 stolen bases. A lot of guys on this team know when to run. Friday at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. TC Jim and I will be there to preview Rick Porcello's start against the Yankees. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
That look on Buck's face. It was the last pitch that looked like a perfect strike. I mean, that's a strike. It was called a ball. You said early on, this is game 2 of a doubleheader for the umpires as well.
Yeah.
Not that the same guy works the plate back-to-back games, but it's a long day for those guys.
They never sit down. They don't have an in-between inning.
Tied up 3-3. Good cut. 3-2. Got a big fastball. Now Sam Travis would be next. One man away and a payout pitch from the lefty. He walked him. Vasquez aboard, first and second now for Boston. CVS Health is investing $50 million over 5 years to extend their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives. You can learn more at cvshealth.com/be-the-first. Sam with a base hit. He's also grounded to the mound. Two on and one out. Inside, nearly got him. Well, Travis on the last road trip in Cleveland bashed his first major league home run. Same night, the man on deck, his former minor league roommate Zue Lin, did the same thing. One and one.
Never forget that first one.
Where'd yours come?
Right here. My very first start against Minnesota. Ken Schramm hit one into the visiting bullpen and one into the Red Sox bullpen.
1-1 popped up, but twisting foul. And headed toward the Red Sox dugout, but no play.
Ball probably should have been caught right there, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think he knew where it was coming down. He did a good job of getting to the dugout, but he wasn't in the right spot when he got there. That ball hits off the wall. He was just about 6-7 feet standing in the wrong spot. Oops.
Not going to get any help over there.
Nope.
Trey Mancini. Do you still have the ball, by the way?
My mother. Gave it to my mother. Of course. I thought it was going to be easy, man. It was my very first major league start. I hit 2 home runs. Played 9 years in the big leagues. I went on to hit 17 more the rest of my life. That was it.
Well, they clearly figured you out.
Yes.
1 and 2.
I guess everyone else was studying video at that time. I had no idea. There was nothing for me to look at.
Video schmidio, you said. Come on, this is easy.
Yeah, keep throwing me those fastballs. I'll hit another one. They find out if you can't hit a breaking ball real quick.
You said, Tony Gwynn, what are you doing all that video work for anyway? Come on, let's get out and hit.
What is that? You got guys hitting 19 homers in the first 2 months of the season. JD scoffs at 19 homers.
He's up to 42 as of today. Hit another one this afternoon. Shot to center field. Mullins, plenty of space out there. Back to tag is Swihart. He'll go second to third, and 2 down. And Zue Lin will hit next. Sam Travis now 1 for 3.
Hit the ball on the nose. If you're going to make an out, at least let it be a productive one. Move the runner up to third base. You see Swihart there. He gets back easily to second base. Tags up and moves on.
Zue Lin tripled and drove in Sam Travis last time up. Base hit here would put the Red Sox in the lead.
Whoa.
That's high all the way to the backstop, but it takes a big bounce. Vasquez moving from first to second.
Yeah, we see that happen a lot at ballparks where the ball gets up over and it bounces all the way back. You don't see that very often here at Fenway Park. The ball doesn't spring back to the home plate like that one did. He almost had a chance to throw him out at second base. Thought we were in Wrigley Field for a second. There's pretty good padding behind home plate here. It usually hits and deadens a little bit.
So the wild pitches, 2 men into scoring position. And that came back hard. Right there to Mancini, and that will retire the side. Red Sox get 1 run to tie it at 3. Bank ranked the #1 bank in Massachusetts by Forbes. JD Martinez, #1 in home runs among players in their first year with the Red Sox. 42, tied with Dick Stewart for most ever by a player in his first season with the Boston Red Sox. Got number 42 today. Another big afternoon for him. 127 RBIs. And underway here in the 6th inning in a 3-3 tie, Sox and the Orioles. Rickard's gone 0 for 2. 249 with 8 home runs. He just went slamming into the tin out there up against the American League scores moments ago, and he was not very fond of that experience. He had a look on his face like, you got to be kidding me. I ran pell-mell into that.
He was looking at one of his fingers after that. I mean, that's, you know, I love the fact that you call it the tin, but that is metal. That's not it. That is a metal wall with a bunch of corners and stuff and things that can cut you, and it's not easy.
Yeah, there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Time for a game break. Brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. All right, Tom, thank you. Looking forward to the real thing, that's for sure. Get the Bees underway. Mike Eruzione was here earlier tonight, the hockey legend. Remember what Herb Brooks told him? If you lose this game, you will take it to your graves. Remember that?
Nice guy. Jeez.
Well, it was brilliant motivation is what it was. But you're sitting there in your locker going, nice guy. Thanks a lot, Herb. Been a couple of really fine movies made about the U.S. Olympic hockey victory and a win over Russia, gold medal team. Fastball and a good one at 92 and put him away. Back-to-back Ks from the lefty.
Correct me if I'm wrong. After they won that game, they still had to come back and win another game for the gold medal, right?
Yep, and that's what he meant. If you lose this, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Friday at 6, don't miss Red Sox First Pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC, Jim, and I will preview the Red Sox final series of the regular season. Who's that against? The New York Yankees.
Sunday afternoon. Everybody plays at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Here's Wilkerson. He's already fanned twice. Rodriguez has struck out the first 2 batters here in the 6th inning. Red Sox 3, Orioles 3. Popped the mid there, 1-2.
He's looked good coming out of the pen. I don't think he cares too much. He said the biggest adjustment for him will be trying to warm up with fewer pitches to do it in.
Base is empty, 1-2. He struck him out, and he strikes out the side here in the 6th. By LL Bean. If it's outside, we're all in. Be an outsider. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Your local New England Ford dealers, and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Steve Lyons and Dave O'Brien with you, looking for some popcorn.
That's some popcorn there.
I can smell it. I have no idea where that is in the ballpark, but I can smell it.
We're going to find it.
In late doubleheader. One attempt right back to the hill by Jackie Bradley, and Scott will throw him out. One away. Bottom of the 6th inning, tied up 3-3. Brock Holt is next, and Matt Barnes loosening in the pen.
Did Matt Barnes just hit the camera? That pitch.
He hit the wall. You saw Matt go.
That's my bad.
My bad there. Sorry about
There's
that.
the camera. My goodness.
Shaking the wall. I was wondering what was going on there. I was thinking, what a fastball he just unleashed. like 150.
Reel that thing in a little bit, Matty, before you come in. Heads up. Oh, man. Look at the look on his face. Whoops.
Sorry, my bad. Rockhold 1 for 3, a single.
Who was the pitcher? Wasn't there old-time pitcher Ryan Dern?
I remember Ryan Dern, yeah.
He used to come in a relief appearance, and he would throw his first pitch way up on the backstop and then clean his glasses off and then put them back on and then pitch again.
Tom Seaver, I worked with Tom and we did the Mets together several years ago, and he said, you know, there were days I had nothing in the bullpen, but when I had it going, my knee, because I was a drop and drive guy, always got filthy on the mound, and everybody knew it, and they knew, forget it, we don't have much of a shot today. So on the days when he had nothing going to the bullpen, before he came through that gate, he'd reach down, grab a fistful of dirt, and dirty up that knee, so everybody saw that. And he said, you know, that helped me. That probably got me 3 or 4 outs.
A little psychological.
Yeah.
You already know you're not getting a hit off of them. That's not a good feeling when you go to the plate thinking, I have no chance.
No shot today. The team from Dunkin' Donuts is thrilled to congratulate the Red Sox on their record-breaking season. The Red Sox have been running on Dunkin' all season, and the team from Dunkin' have committed to keeping the Sox running all the way through October. Good-looking group.
Yeah, that group picture took some time too and planning.
You've been to Dunkin' Donuts at 7 in the morning. They know how to pull it together. Nunez charges, throws, and got him at first base. Now, defensively, he's been pretty good, as we have seen him in a back-to-back series down there and here.
Tough play. Ideally, you'd like to get this rounded off, but he was unable to do that, so it makes an awkward throw off the other foot, but still nice and accurate right to first base. Good play.
Two away for Steve Pearce. He's popped up, walked, and grounded out. Tie game here in the last of the 6th inning. Red Sox trying to sweep the Orioles in a doubleheader for the 2nd time this season.
And dominate the season series. Wow.
Yeah, win or lose, they've done that already, haven't they?
Whew. They win today. The 17-2, is it?
That's correct. They win this ball game, and the season series will end at 17-2.
And the Orioles are saying, thank goodness.
Here's the 1-2 from Tanner Scott. He strikes him out. He has a very quick inning in the 6th. By Nissan. Time to save big at Nissan's Take Home a Titan Truck Month event. William Ravis Real Estate, the official real estate company of the Red Sox, and by Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. Underneath the full moon here in Boston, top half of the 7th inning. We're tied up 3-3. Matt Barnes coming on to pitch. He'll get 9-1-2 for the Orioles.
Are you surprised to see Barnes here in the 7th rather than maybe the 8th?
No. No, I'm not. I think that this may be where he settles in come playoff time.
Who's your 8th inning guy?
Ryan Brazier.
I like Brazier a lot. Kind of figured Barnes was working his way back to that 8th inning spot. I don't think you can go wrong either way.
Now Escora has said he's going to go with the hot hand. That means at the plate, and that means on the mound in October. Joseph's gone 1 for 2 with a base hit.
There is Brazier right there saying you bet on the 8th inning guy.
And a 2-1. Sock to right field. Swihart backing up. He's being tested here. That's over his head. Up against the bullpen fence and romping into second base. Joseph, his second hit tonight. And that is the go-ahead run.
That one fooled Swihart a little bit. The spin on this ball spinning away from him. As an outfielder, he's got to learn to turn and run on this ball. See, he's looking at it the whole way. He's got to run to a spot, and now it's just over his head.
Lead-off double for Joseph.
Ball hit a long way the other way for Joseph. That's why Swihart was playing fairly shallow.
Now they're in on the corners here against Mullins, who loves to try and bunt. And he does drop that one down along the line, but foul. Last time up, he popped up a bunt.
Now they're pretty much asking him to sacrifice, and he's doing the right thing. He wants to bunt that ball hard enough down the third base line to force Brock Holt to field it. If he does that, Joseph can walk into third base. Barnes should release the pitch and run directly to the third base line.
And the 0-1 to Mullins. No bunt here, and he takes up high. Not by much. Off to the right of the plate. Vasquez couldn't find it, and too late. The run is going to advance. So Joseph down to third. On a wild pitch.
Ball down in the dirt. Got to make sure you get down and block it. I think Vasquez did a pretty good job of blocking that ball, but it squirted away from him anyway.
Red Sox will try and cut this man down at home plate with the infield in, and that will miss for ball 3.
With a guy at the plate like Mullins who can bunt, you start thinking about the possibility of as a squeeze, but I don't think with nobody out.
No bunt, hammering away, and 3-2.
And for me, the reason why you wouldn't squeeze with nobody out is because you have too many opportunities to drive that guy in from third. You got 3 cracks at it. Squeeze is a risky play.
Barnes looking to fan this guy. 3-2 coming. Just got a piece of it.
Barnes has supreme confidence in his breaking ball, especially on 3-2 counts. You see him go to 3-2 counts. Maybe too much for my taste, but even in that situation, he has no problem breaking off a curveball.
Here's the 3-2. He struck him out
with a curveball. He doesn't mind throwing it. It's risky.
Sure doesn't.
On Sunday, November 18th, the world's fastest field sport returns to Boston for the Fenway Hurling Classic. Tickets for this special hurling tournament are on sale right now. Visit redsox.com/hurling for tickets and more info. Have you ever seen hurling?
No, you know, it's big in Ireland. When we were there in Ireland a couple of years ago, they said, hey, stop in, take a look. I drove right by it. But
I've never seen it.
But people who love it, love it.
Maybe we'll show up and watch.
I think we may go, actually. Everybody who was there said it was an absolutely phenomenal event.
Worth checking out, I guess. Broaden the horizons. I've just never seen it. Might be fun to watch.
VR has gone 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. He's 1 for 1 against Barnes in his career. Man at third. Very different game than game 1. It was a runaway for the Red Sox, 19-3. 22 hits, 5 home runs for Boston. It's a season high for the Sox, 22 hits. Here's the 2-0. He thought about it, but did not offer. 3-0. Mancini to hit next. And he's going to walk him on 4 straight. So VR is aboard first and third now. Mancini, a home run threat.
Didn't look that interested in throwing him a strike, to tell you the truth.
The Geico Red Sox moment honoring the 13 champs. Game number 159. Red Sox would beat the Rockies 15-5. Will Middlebrooks crushed Rockies pitching. He drove in 7, including a grand slam and a 3-run homer. Mancini with an RBI triple in the first inning. That was when Chris Sale was on the hill. Chris went 4 2/3, gave up 3 runs, 4 hits. He will have no decision tonight. He struck out 8. Late cut foul ball quickly into the stands.
He needs himself a ground ball double play right here. It's where his breaking ball comes into play again.
Late again. 97. 0-2. A dive back at first base by BR. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Red Sox, 3 runs, 5 hits for Baltimore. Both sides have committed 1 error.
This is a situation where Barnes could be really devastating. He's got a lot of weapons here. 0-2. High fastball at 97. Good breaking ball. Throw a breaking ball in the dirt. Try to get him to chase.
And an occasional splitter. Mancini has punched out 148 times this year. Runner goes at first. It's high and no throw by Vasquez. Runner holding at third base, so a stolen base. And now BR is also, along with Joseph, in the scoring position for the Orioles.
Now the infield will come in. This is where now Barnes needs a punch out. It wasn't a situation where he could get a ground ball double play. That's out now. You need to strike out here and go after the other guy with 2 outs.
Chopper up the middle, through for a base hit. The infield was in to score Joseph, in to score BR. So that was quite costly. And now Baltimore has the 5-3 lead.
It's amazing how the complexion of an inning can change. 2 pitches ago, this same ball would have been the double play ball he was looking for. And instead, after the stolen base, you have to suck the infield in. Those bounding balls up the middle find holes, then a 2-run score. Nice day for Mancini.
Adam Jones wails and misses.
It's not the type of outing that Barnes was looking for if he wants to be that 8th inning guy, that's for sure.
Well, in the inning, 2 hits, a walk, a stolen base, a wild pitch. Not among his best. Adam Jones has had a good night, a single, a double. He's also been hit by a pitch. Lined up the middle, base hit. Hits keep on coming. That'll send Mancini up to second. Red Sox have activity in the bullpen. And Dana Levangie with it on the walk out there. So Barnes getting roughed up here in the 7th. Started with the double by Joseph. A walk, a hit, and another hit.
Erod just came in blowing guys away in the 6th. He got Nunez, Rickard, fastball, just frozen pizza right there. And then Andreoli on a high fastball as well. Wilkerson there was the final one, my bad.
Time for our refreshing finish, brought to you by Coors Light. Hector Velasquez quickly loosening up. So the Red Sox behind by a couple of runs now. And again, they've been behind most of the night. Red Sox have yet to have a lead in here in game 2. Renato Nunez has gone 0 for 2, and he's driven in a run in the 1st inning with a sac fly. Only 1 away. Part of Barnes' trouble tonight is he's not throwing many strikes.
And he does that. He'll come in and go 3-2 on too many hitters. With the stuff he has, he still needs to figure out how to just go after hitters.
2 on and 1 away here in the 7th inning. High bounding ball over the head of Pierce into right field. Another run coming in. Jones down to third on the RBI single by Nunez to make it 6-3.
That's just bad luck right there. I don't even know what that ball hit home plate and bounce into right field. Let's see if you can see where this ball bounces first. Boink. Look at that. How do you hit a ball off the ground? Watch where this ball bounces, the very first bounce. It's in the other batter's box almost and bounces all the way over everyone's head for a base hit. That's hard to do.
On a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So that's it for Barnes. Matt comes on and allows 4 hits and 3 runs so far. But a couple of men aboard his responsibility. Velasquez will try and clean that up. But the Red Sox are suddenly behind by 3. Time for us to toss it down to Garrett.
OV, Steve, even though Dustin Pedroia is not playing, he's still been an asset for the team. We saw him the other week. He was out working with Rafael Devers. And Alex Cora told us that the other day he walked into the hitting cage and he was in there with Mitch Moreland giving him some pointers. And he said, Cora told us that that's when he realized how much Pedroia had matured. And he said, he's not that kid who's loud that I played with 10 years ago. And he said he knows that it's really been killing Pedroia to not be on the field helping out. But he said, guys, he has really been an asset off the field.
Well, no question about that. Doing a lot of work with Rafael Devers. We talk about footwork. If you want to learn footwork, you go to Dustin Pedroia.
That'd be a good place to start.
He talks about his tennis background and how that helped him with great feet. Devers has had an outstanding run here recently and has another double and a run tonight.
Well, the fastest sport on skates is coming to Boston. Watch as athletes race down a 2,000-foot ice track, reaching speeds of 50 miles per hour during the Red Bull Crashed Ice February 8th and 9th at Fenway Park. Tickets are now available at redbullcrashedice.com. That looks crazy, doesn't it? We've got a lot of fast sports coming to Fenway here in the offseason.
Yeah. That looks like a lot of fun.
If it's not you doing it.
Yeah, to watch.
Yeah. Look at those crazy people.
Here's Jace Peterson now. He's going to run.
Not pitch.
He pitched in game 1. He gave up some shots, but he also touched 93 miles an hour. He's a position player, he's an infielder. He can obviously do it all.
I can tell you what's going to be hurting him tomorrow. Right underneath the shoulder blade, back there. I don't know why. You don't use that muscle much until you decide to go out there and pitch, and then it hurts.
He was out there a while, too. He took one for the team today. Hector Velasquez with runners at first and third, only 1 down. DJ Stewart, the batter, hitting for Rickard. Sox trailing 6-3 in the 7th. Peterson's a guy who will run too.
No doubt.
And he can run. He's stolen 12 bases.
Velasquez had to get heated up in a hurry in the bullpen tonight. Wasn't a whole lot of warning. They got him up and they got him in. He's held so many different roles on this team this year.
Went fishing on the changeup. Good change.
Well, I got almost a split grip on that changeup. Good job by Vasquez to knock it down.
A 2-2 count on Stewart. Adam Jones has 3 hits here in the nightcap. He's standing at third. Peterson on at first. Peterson taking off and no throw on the pitch up high. Second and third. They've been running very effectively tonight.
Barnes and Velasquez both kind of tall and lanky, a little bit slow to the plate. They're not really running on Vasquez. They're running on Velasquez. Good jump. No reason to throw. You have no chance of throwing him out.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. So that'll be 2 down.
Again, the changeup, split finger, good location.
Velasquez trying to manage the inning. Andreoli now, he's 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts, and he's lined out to Brock Holt at third. Inside a ball.
Andreoli's father, John Sr., actually played for the Patriots one year in 1984. He was on the injured list the entire season, never took a snap. He's now the head coach at St. John's High School in Shrewsbury. And John Jr. goes to help him coach in the off seasons. That note from TC back in the studio doing his homework.
As you said, they are Sox fans.
Yes, they are. Must be a nice thrill for him to come and play.
Second and third, 2 down. Waved right through it. His off-speed pitch. Been a good one tonight. Looper foul off the first base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. After the game, stay tuned for Red Sox Final, presented by Rodenheiser Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electric. TC, Jim, and Manny highlighted Brock Holt on the Rodenheiser Heat Zone is hot and VR is cold. Here's how they've done so far tonight. Popped up, racing back Pierce. Phillips over there too, and oh, he caught it out of the glove, and he caught it barehanded. He hangs on. 6-3 Baltimore. by T-Mobile.
Tough play for anybody to have to go out here and make this play. Steve Pearce made it. Not exactly the way he wanted to. He's got a glove on it and then a bare hand on it.
For the third out. So it is on to the bottom half of the seventh inning. Rafael Devers aboard twice tonight with a walk and a double. He has scored one of the Red Sox runs. Left-hander Fry, the new hurler. Stewart staying in the game to play left. Peterson at third after he came in to pinch run. And Fry on the mound. Bounding ball the other way to be picked by Peterson. Out number one.
Well, a good try, smart effort by Devers there, going the other way. You only had one guy, just the third baseman. He ranged over and made the play. Big hole on the left side with the shift. Devers trying to go that way. Look at that big hole. Nice play.
Swihart to bat righty. 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a steal tonight. Red Sox very quiet here in game 2 offensively compared to the first game. Weak ground ball for Wilkerson. 2 up, 2 down. Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital for every Red Sox home run. Speedway, New England's first choice for value and convenience, and the largest convenience store contributor to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Mookie, a standout in game 1, became the second player in Red Sox history to have a 30-30 campaign. Just another box to check in an MVP caliber year. Brandon Phillips is 0 for 3. Reached on an error in the first inning.
Which box didn't he check? Not many of them out there, are there? There's not much you can think of that he didn't do.
Talking about Mookie, yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Brazier getting ready to work the 8th inning. I really can't think of anything. You know, the home runs, the stolen bases, the great defense, defensive runs saved, the signature moments. I mean, there was a bucket full of those.
You know, I mean, 5-tool player, just without question. He does it all.
But there are 5-tool players who don't win MVPs.
Sure.
They're 5-tool players who have really fine seasons, but they're not recognized as the most valuable player, which is what most of us who've watched Mookie all season believe is going to happen.
Well, the combination of power and speed is a rare thing, and you know, 30-30 is a big deal. And I said it in the open of the show, his stolen bases were something that he stole a base every once in a while when it was needed. He didn't steal just to steal, and he could have stole 40-45 bases this year if he wanted to. He rarely ran. When you thought he was going to run, he really didn't. And then he just decided to steal a base every once in a while, and over the course of the season he got 30 of them. And there was a time during this season where he and Benny were right around 20-22 stolen bases at the same time. And then he said, I might as well steal 30.
Well, today he took the base as well. That's how much it meant to him today. He took the base. He's going to bring that home. League leader is Whit Merrifield with 39. Mookie is tied for 4th in the American League. Trout has 24, by the way. 1-2, got a piece of it.
Altuve on that list?
Altuve is not.
He has run less and less.
Mookie certainly looks like he's going to win the batting crowd for the first time in his career as well. Came in with about a 15-point lead today.
That's not changing over the weekend.
Looking like it's going to be Mookie and JD finishing 1-2 in front of Trout. Looking like Chris Davis of Oakland will win the home run title. He started play today leading JD Martinez by 5.
He kind of put a big push in the second half, didn't he, Chris Davis?
Really in the last 10 days or so really turned it on even more so. Routine ground ball to VR. On target. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the 7th. Preview. We're looking at each American League team tonight. It's the Oakland A's. 95 wins. They've been a huge surprise, averaging 5 runs a game. They can score. 4th postseason berth in the last 7 seasons for Oakland. And to celebrate Oktoberfest, Sam Adams is giving away 2 tickets to Game 1 of the American League Division Series here at Fenway. May indeed be against the Oakland A's. Text GO SOX to 24587 to enter.
It's kind of strange because when you think of the playoffs beginning, I think that many Red Sox fans have the foregone conclusion that they're just going to play the Yankees. The Oakland A's may have a heck of a lot to say about that.
I think you're right. And by the way, they are really good at home. The A's are 50-31 at home. The Sox right now are 56-21.
And it's weird too, because you wouldn't think that stadium there in Oakland would be any kind of home field advantage.
It's a big one for them. They need that game out there. Could still happen. Brazier coming on out of the bullpen.
Small market team, the Oakland A's.
They've had a heck of a year. Far better than the Giants there in the Bay, who've been eliminated 73-85. Giants were a very poor road team. Wilkerson, a 194 hitter, puts it in play. Zhu Lin will handle that chance. 1 away. Zhu at short. So 1 gone. And Joseph, the catcher, is next. He's had a good night with a single and a double, and he scored 2 times. We're in the 8th inning of game 2. Brazier, the 4th reliever to be used tonight by Alex Cora. Ryan picked up his 10th hold of the year in Monday's win against Baltimore. Good change, 0-2. If you missed it tonight, Chris Sale started game 2. He went 4 2/3. 3 runs, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. He walked a man, 2 hit batters. And I think we're all intrigued to hear from him after the game, because his velocity was only topping out about 94. May have been by design.
And that was only a couple pitches.
Right.
Really.
Jackie Bradley on the attack. Diving ahead, and he's got it. A sprawling catch. Another one for the list.
Like a Fraser. It's like I knew you were going to do it. When you see him charging, when you see that look right there, you know he's got a beat on it. Man, he covers ground quick. Look at him.
There's that reaction.
It's the big G, right?
2 down.
Big G for a great catch.
I really think this is the year he wins his first Gold Glove.
It's about time.
So richly deserved. Here's the 0-1, and check the swing.
I know this guy has had a ridiculously bad season, but isn't it strange we haven't seen Chris Davis at all today?
Yeah, not at all.
Hitting a $168.
Just 16 home runs, only 49 runs batted in.
There he is.
And
Been
there's
here all day.
A lot of money left on that contract.
I don't know.
Wonder if Chris can turn things around. He was such a productive player for years.
Well, this game is so difficult to be consistent at, and you know, you can certainly have one year where just everything goes south. I can't imagine that he won't be a better player next year. He's got to come back and do something better than what we saw.
Yep, he's been lost this year. Phillips backing up for the good hop, throws him out. 1, 2, 3, they go. Good work by Brazier. Xfinity. Yacobonis went 3 1/3 tonight for Baltimore. Chris Sale 4 2/3 for the Red Sox. Good night for Adam Jones, 3 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Their big inning was the 7th when they scored 3 times to untie the ball game. So the Red Sox with work to do here in the second game of the twin bill. Vasquez has gone 0 for 2 with a walk. Red Sox have already won the series regardless of how this one goes tonight, but love another sweep of this ball club up the middle. Wilkerson with the stab and throws him out. 1 away. 9 in a row retired by Baltimore. But there's hope with the Rally Caps.
Gronkowski might pinch hit.
Sam Travis 1 for 3 with a base hit. Good at bat last time up, but he lined sharply to center. And Craig Kimbrell looking to get some work in, firing away in the bullpen. Toward third, nice friendly hop for Peterson. 2 down.
Yeah, you got to keep all those guys throwing. Kimbrell, the long layoff is going to be the wild card in this whole situation. You play Sunday, you don't play again until Friday. That's a long time not to play in baseball games.
Time for the Carrying the Freight moment, brought to you by Old Dominion.
Oh, look at this. That's Gold Glove worthy, isn't it? Jackie Bradley Jr. on the run, on the dive, making the play. Big G from Mookie.
Old Dominion, the official freight carrier of Major League Baseball and the Boston Red Sox. Zue Lin has a triple tonight. That drove in Sam Travis in the 4th inning. Tomorrow, a day off for the Red Sox, and then back at it on Friday. Last regular season series against the Yankees. Rick Porcello will go in game 1. 7:10. Saturdays at 1 o'clock and Sunday at 3:05. Oh, 2. Not tempting enough. Jumps on that one, liner to center, but it hangs up for Mullins. He tagged it, but for an out. 1, 2, 3 they go.
Starting Friday, there are 3 last chances.
Turning around! Oh, he did it!
3 last chances to watch JD Martinez hit to win the MLB Triple Crown. To be the first since Mickey Mantle and break any Yankees' hope for home field in the wild card. Yankees, Red Sox. The final 3-game series of the year begins Friday at 5:30 on NESN. Presented by Mimecast. The best protection from cyber attacks via email. Mimecast, making email safer for business.
We're not your average airline, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We do everything differently on purpose, for one purpose. You. You're the reason we fly to 99 destinations, and why we don't charge you fees to change your flight or check 2 bags. You. Over 130 million of you chose to fly Southwest last year. That's what matters most to us.
That plateau's the worst.
This looks like some proper American barbecue.
You came to the right place. Come on over here and try some burnt ends.
Now, if you want the good stuff, you got to come over here. This guy's like a vampire. He's afraid of steaks. Now, what's most important is you get the fat cap and decal. You want a high-quality meat? I use Wagyu.
Yeah, but you need some of the bark in order to set it right. In 5 hours, you flip it, tip it, tack it, give it a little tickle, and wrap it.
And then you got to look for a nice smoke ring. And once you see the ring, get down on one knee and get engaged to that meat.
Hey, you catch that smell?
Ding, ding, ding. It's all about that GBD. Golden brown delicious.
For those restless spirits, and for those who thirst for more, Coors Light is colder, cleaner, and crisper. To refresh you for what's next, Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
For a limited time at Jordan's Furnishers, save up to $200 on select Sealy hybrid and conform mattresses and get up to 60 months equal payments with no interest. Savings like this will not last, so shop now. Kimbrel out of the bullpen, has not worked in 5 days, so regardless of the score, Alex Cora gets him in. Trying to tune him up for postseason play. A few other changes we'll get to in just a moment for the Red Sox defensively. BR cuts and misses, 91 with the first one. Brock Holt now out there in right field from third base. Second night in a row, or second night in the series, Christian Vasquez at third. And Blake Swihart doing the catching. He comes in from right.
Alex Cora loves the versatility of this lineup because that's the kind of player he was. He understands the value of guys being able to bounce around and play different positions. He was one of the best. I was working with the Dodgers. The up the middle combination, shortstop, second baseman, was Alex Cora and Cesar Izturis. Remember him? We used to go just to watch infield practice with those two guys. So quick, so good with their hands. It was a lot of fun to watch them play.
Tried to hold up, and he did.
Neither one of them hit much, but they didn't let anything get past them.
Alex winning his 107th game earlier today, second most ever for an individual in his first year as a big league manager, trailing only Ralph Houck of the 1961 Yankees, won 109.
Well, the boy's got a chance.
He has a shot. He's recently passed, among a few others, Dusty Baker and Sparky Anderson, who had big first years. And that'll be ball four. I still think Washington made a critical mistake in firing Dusty Baker after last season.
Dusty's always been such a great motivator.
Yeah. And they've been paying for it as Pomerantz and Johnson get going in the bullpen, and they were eliminated from postseason play. Washington Nationals also thought they made a huge mistake years ago by sitting Steven Strasburg.
Yep.
I don't know if they'll ever admit it.
They won't admit it. They said there will be plenty of playoff seasons ahead. Guess what? Yeah. Better take advantage of the one you get when you get it.
That might have been their best chance to win that year.
And he was ready to come back and pitch.
Michael Givens in the bullpen for the Orioles. We are in the ninth of game 2. Been a long day and night of baseball. Red Sox thumped them in game 1, 19-3. Runner goes. Here's the throw down by Swihart. Not going to get him. That can run.
Yeah, and he loves to. Wicked slider. from Kimbrel and a tough pitch to handle for Swihart behind the plate.
VR with his second theft tonight. They've had 3 or 4 stolen bases in this game. Fly into right field, up there for Brock Holt. Runner will tag and advance into third. And Adam Jones is up there looking here for his 4th hit tonight. 2 singles, a double, an RBI. In fact, he's been on base 4 times. Hit by a pitch his first time up. Baltimore in front 6-3. They've out-hit the Red Sox 8-6.
Jones had a chance to be traded away this season at the deadline, elected not to. Wanted to stay put. He's entrenched in the community. His family is happy in the Baltimore area. Oh, look
skips
out.
away, and it hangs around the plate, but now it takes a funny backward bounce, and the run is in as VR scores to make it 7-3 on a wild pitch.
As soon as VR realized that Swihart didn't know where it was right away, he knew that this ball would kick away when it came back down. Watch the spin on it off of Swihart. This ball is spinning up in the air. Watch VR now. His reaction as soon as the ball goes up in the air, he knows that's going to bounce. Look at it bounce away from Swihart.
Foul back right over our heads. 98-mile-an-hour pitch.
It's got the good velo, that's for sure.
Ooh, that one sounded like it got him, and it did. He will take his base. Second time he's been drilled. 3rd hit batsman of the evening for Baltimore.
This is up and in. Certainly not where Kimbrel was trying to throw it, and Jones does a pretty good job of backing away from that pitch to not get hit squarely.
So a little bit of rust here for Kimbrel, showing a walk, a hit batsman, a wild pitch. That'll send up Peterson, today's game 1 right-handed pitcher. 1 for 3 lifetime against Kimbrel. 7-3 game. He'll lay off, and that's outside on Peterson. Oakland and Seattle are underway. It is 2-0 A's. They're in the 2nd inning out in Seattle. Lost the handle on that cut and a miss. Again, 98. 2-1.
Ideally, you'd like to get Kimbrel 2 more appearances over the weekend with all the time off.
Tampa Bay with that 6-3 lead, getting late on the Yankees. A's hopeful of cutting into that Yankee lead for that top spot in the wild card. Right now it's a 2.5 for the Yankees.
Could
Time
get
running
very
out.
interesting if the Red Sox play very well against the Yankees over the weekend, and the Oakland A's can figure out a way to keep winning. That loss the other night, the comeback loss they had, ooh, that hurt them.
Two bounces. He's having trouble landing his breaking ball in the strike zone here in the 9th inning. Yeah, 18 pitches so far, only 8 strikes for Craig. And he has walked another man, so 2 in the inning.
Well, I think without question, one of the big question marks of this ball club going into the playoffs that is on everybody's mind is how is the bullpen going to do? How will they fare? Tonight's ball game is a bad indication, giving up 3 runs in the 7th. So far 1 in the 9th.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you can really get too worried about what you've seen tonight, though. It's the Orioles. It's a game that doesn't count for anything. I think it's a little bit of an indicator what the Red Sox have done more recently, where Stephen Wright's pitched well in meaningful games, and the Red Sox have been able to get it done. In a situation like Craig Kimbrell coming on, where he hasn't worked in 5 days, you know he's going to be rusty. And he certainly has been. He's walked too many. He's hit a batter. Wild pitch. Barnes is still kind of trying to make his way back to where he was before the hip injury. There's no question that's a focus of concern, but I think that's been lessened in recent days, not made worse, in my opinion.
Well, the same things that you say, though, like he hasn't pitched in 5 days, but he won't pitch in 5 days before the very first game of the playoffs. So will that same rust be there? Barnes is still working his way back into shape, but he will be pitching in meaningful games. He can't have an outing like he had tonight. I'm not overly worried, but if there's been a worry on this team, especially in the second half of the season, it has been the bullpen.
I would say that's true.
And so, yes, you can point to great examples like Stephen Wright of guys that are absolutely getting the job done. I just need to see more of those.
This is a tough game for adrenaline.
Absolutely.
Adrenaline does wonderful things.
These games mean nothing.
But there's no question it's the #1 topic on talk shows when you listen to talk radio in Boston, without a doubt. And when you look at the numbers, and if the Red Sox are going to have an area of concern, that's it. However, it's also a ball club that's won 51 games with that, lost 51 games with that bullpen, won 107 times.
That's a pretty good record.
A little bit outside for a ball. I realize playoff baseball has different feel to it. Bullpens become increasingly more important, certainly this day and age, when managers are more prone to go to those bullpens if a starter gets in trouble real early. The days of allowing them to work their way out of it in October, you know, even for a couple of innings, are over.
And that is a different concern. You can look at these games and say, well, you know, maybe they're not pitching that well, or they're hitting a bump in the road because these games don't mean anything. But you flip that over and say, will these guys out of the bullpen, and I think they will respond, but will they respond when the pressure of the playoffs is what is at stake? Not the fact that there's no adrenaline, the fact that it's pumping like crazy.
Boy,
can this team handle the bright lights?
Yep.
I think they can.
Well, we're not that far away from finding
They're about
out.
ready to start shining, aren't they?
And they don't get any hotter than October. 3-2 on the way, but I think you've got to be genuinely excited. And there's another walk by Kimbrell. He's walked 3 men, and here comes Cora. The bases are going to be loaded up here for Baltimore. They're already in front 7-3.
27 pitches from Kimbrell.
So he is done for the night. Robbie Scott will make an appearance here in a moment. And the bases all jammed up with only one down. 3 walks, a wild pitch, a hit batsman. But it had been some time since he worked.
He's the ultimate too, isn't he? He's the ultimate adrenaline junkie when it comes to pitching in big time situations. You put him in a big time adrenaline situation, he dazzles. If it's not there, he does very often have trouble. Non-save situation in a nothing game.
So Robbie Scott trying to get out of it. Robbie making his 8th appearance of the season, 0-1 with a .953 earned run average. Friday night, Rick Porcello to pitch for his 18th win of the year. And the Red Sox have yet to make an announcement on the Saturday and Sunday starters. We do know that Chris Sale, who pitched today, who started here in Game 2, is set for what they have termed an aggressive bullpen on Sunday.
How do you think Alex Cora will use his everyday players? Do you think he'll run them out there every day and play them 5 innings, get them 2 at-bats and get them out? Or will they play one day, have an off day, play the next day, everybody plays 2 out of 3, or how it talks to those guys? So what do you feel? Do you want to play all 3? You got a bunch of days off. What do you want to do? How do you think that'll run?
I think, you know, the middle example you use there, you know, 2 out of 3, that makes perfect sense. Does to me anyway.
And you know, JD's want to play in every one of them.
You know he's going to want to.
Mookie's going to want to play in every one of them.
And because, you know, you've got all that time between, you know,
5 days.
5 days. It's a lot of time between the playoffs begin.
Baseball players hate that. You want to have a lead, you want to win the division, but there is something to be said for teams that have to play hard right up to the playoffs. That wild card team that has to play a wild card game and then jump on a plane and come up and start the new series. No time to relax, no time to rest, no time to think about it, except let's go.
I think 3 days would be perfect.
Yeah.
You know, 3 days would be perfect. I think if the Red Sox had their druthers, that would be just great.
I get, but it you know, it makes sense why it's 5. It's all timing, and the season ends on Sunday. You can't play that wild card game Monday. It had to be at least Tuesday. They decided to make it one more day to Wednesday.
And you've got to be able to travel.
You got to get back and play the next one.
Andreoli has gone 0 for 4, but no place to put him.
It looks right now as if, you know, that game will be in New York, so the team will have done, if it's Oakland, they will have done their traveling. They'll get here, they'll stay here if they win. New York's already here.
Orioles with a man at every base and 1 down. Scott looking for the K. We're in the top half of the 9th inning. 7-3 Baltimore. Red Sox ran roughshod over the Orioles in the first game of this doubleheader, 19-3. All loaded up. Here's the 1-2. Flying to right, down the line, and that's going to drop in and take a sideways bounce up into the crowd for 2 bases. Andreoli dropping it right down that line. 2-run score. That'll make it 9-3 Baltimore. Charge those runs to Craig Kimbrell.
Well, you wonder if Andreoli's father and brother hung in there long enough for this game to see this bat finally. Base slow to double, doinked it down the line, bounced up into the seats. Everybody is running.
So 2nd and 3rd with 1 down.
Dave, if you're the Oakland A's, you pack and travel for 5 days, you might only get to wear one outfit.
You know? Yeah, how about that?
You might turn around and come right back home. But you better be prepared to stay.
Got to go with the big suitcase no matter what.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkerson's 0 for 4. He struck out 3 times. 1 out. It runs down and in. Well, the A's could cut a full game off the Yankee wild card advantage and get to within 1.5 again with a victory tonight, a Yankee loss. That would certainly add a big edge to the weekend. Line drive, base hit into right. That'll chase in Stewart. He is into scores. The throw comes home and is cut by Pierce. So it's a 10-3 Baltimore lead. So they're running away with this one tonight as the Red Sox did in game 1.
Those guys have come up here in the late innings here with some really good hitting approaches, going the other way, dropping in base hits, getting guys on base and being aggressive. Yeah, Dave, that lead for New York, 2.5 games, but it seemed like for more than 2 weeks it was just stayed at 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Every night you look at it, 1.5, finally to 2.5, but could go back to 1.5.
Yeah, a long way to go. They're pretty much just underway in Seattle, but the A's did jump out in front 2-0. Tampa Bay's extended their lead to 7-3 on the Yankees in the 8th. Joseph with a single, a double. He's gone 2 for 4. Runners at first and third. And a big inning, a 4-run inning for Baltimore.
After a 3-run 7th.
Scott with a 1-1. Still a heck of a battle in a couple of division races, including the NL Central and the NL West. Both still up for grabs in the final days of the season. Cubs came into play tonight, a half game in front of Milwaukee. And out west, the Dodgers a half game in front of Colorado. Popped up but foul out of play.
The Dodgers put that little spurt on. You thought they might think about running away with it. Colorado won't let them go.
No, and they're up big 9-0 in the 6th inning. The Rockies are.
The Rockies have won 4 in a row coming into that. The Dodgers had won 3 in a row as well.
Cubs lead Pittsburgh 6-2 in the 7th inning. Cut on and missed. That'll put them away. 2 down. And Milwaukee knocked off St. Louis 2-1. Still some terrific races in baseball. Atlanta has long since put away the East. Well, they were shut out 3-0 by the Mets. There are going to be a number of managerial openings, though.
As many as last year? Goodness.
Man. Well, in this division, you've got to believe there are going to be 2. Toronto and Baltimore.
They already announced Gibbons will be done.
Here's the 1-1 from Scott. Texas is going to have an opening, of course. Bannister was fired. Wonder about Mike Scioscia long term.
Come out here.
It's been there a long time. They haven't had success really on a top-notch level over the last few seasons. Might be time for a new voice.
Here's the 3-1. Well struck to right field, backing up Brock Holt, still backing up, and he'll make the play. Long running catch. He hauls it in. And finally, the inning is over, but Baltimore hangs up 4. Bottom of the 9th inning. This one is a race to get out before the rain.
Well, weather report said possible thunder showers from 10 to midnight. Kind of in that window, aren't we?
We're right in the middle of it. Well, Jackie Bradley will lead things off. Jackie with a base hit. He's also taking ball 4. Then it's Brock Holt and Steve Pearce. Of course, the Red Sox have a plan of attack here against the left-hander Fry. Trailing by 7 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Sox have been held to 6 hits last 3 innings. They don't have a base runner. 1-2. So Oriole pitching has been much tougher here in game 2 than it was in game 1. The Red Sox just ran away and hid on the strength of a season high 22 hits. 6 so far here in game 2. 6 hits. Here's the 1-2 and struck him out. 1 away. They'll send a Brock Holt 1 for 4 with a base hit. Well, we had a wonderful visit with the Rem Dog. Jerry Remy returning to the booth for an inning tonight, back in the 3rd inning. Looks terrific.
Sounded great, too. There's Jerry.
Line very softly to the shortstop and caught by VR. 2nd out. So 2 down here in the 9th inning for Pierce.
TC and Manny Del Carmen will have more on Jerry on the post-game show.
Pierce tonight 0 for 3 with a walk. Bases empty and 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. On a lengthy day and night of baseball here at Fenway. Orioles trying to split the twin bill and end the season series with a victory over the Red Sox. A rare win. It would only be their 3rd all season in 19 games. The Yankees in next. What will the offseason hold for Buck Showalter and the Orioles? Going to get a top pick, I know that.
Absolutely.
Devers hoping for an opportunity to bat here in the 9th. Count 3-0. And Fry delivers a strike. Red Sox with 107 wins. After the win earlier today, 3-1. And a full count on Pierce. Tampa Bay's got an 8-3 lead on the Yankees in the 9th inning, but Seattle's now tied up 2-2 with Oakland there in the 2nd. Really going to be interesting to see if Sunday has big meaning in the wild card race. VR, Fields, and Guns, and that'll get them 1, 2, 3. And game 2 goes to the Baltimore Orioles. Indeed, a rare win, just their 3rd all season against the Red Sox. Split the doubleheader, and now the Yankees coming to town as we say goodbye to the Baltimore Orioles. Red Sox now at 107 and 52. TC.